The Sacramento Republic FC and the USL request that you refrain from tossing any objects onto the field.
If a game ball enters your seating area, please return to the nearest ball retriever or to the field of play.
Any spectator entering the field or interrupting play in any manner shall be ejected and subject to arrest.
The Sacramento Republic FC and the USL thank you for your cooperation.
Hey fans, on behalf of Sacramento Republic FC and the entire organization, we hope you enjoy the match.
The Republic have fallen just 6 times this season, but 2 of them have come at the hands of the Oklahoma City Energy. In a duel of first-year clubs, the boys from the Midwest were able to keep the Republic scoreless in each of the first 2 matches this season. Well, tonight the face-off comes to California. Making their first trip here, the Energy hope to do what only one team has done before in the capital city, and that is beat the Republic at home. Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Rob McAllister alongside my broadcasting partner, Kevin Goldthwait, 7 years in the MLS, and here you are tonight, an exciting evening, a full moon here tonight at Bonnie Field as the Republic take on Oklahoma City Energy, and the Energy coming to this contest 8-8-5. Meanwhile, Sacramento 12-6-3, currently in 6th place. But Kevin, those 2 losses, they've got a sting. 6 on the year, 2 of them coming at the hands of the Energy. You know they want some payback.
Absolutely. Tonight's a great opportunity to kind of get that revenge, that payback that we're talking about. It's tough to go into any place and lose 2 games in a row at that home place. So coming here in Sacramento, getting a chance to kind of maybe, you know, get that chip off their shoulder, get a W out here tonight, and 3 points, move closer as we push to playoffs. So it's a perfect opportunity. Great night for soccer tonight.
Well, let's get your starting lineup for the Oklahoma City Energy, and the goalkeeper will be Samir Bader. And the back 4, Safarian Hedrick, Gareth Evans, Max Gunderson, and number 3 will be P-Boy Douay. Now in the mid 3, just 3 of them, Michael Thomas, Nate Schiffman, Derek Morad. And the front 3, Dan Delgado, Stephen Perry, and Kyle Gregg.
Indomitable. Like the trees that surround us, our roots run deep, our foundation strong. Our story has just begun, but our game has stood the test of time. This is a game of cities, a game of countries. This, my friends, is the world's game. A game played to the sound of chants, to the sound of anthems. This game is played to the sound of glory. We don't only cherish this game, we revere it. It is our heart, our soul, our everything. And although this game is for everyone, this club is ours. We are Sacramento. Indomitable we stand. For the Republic we stand.
And now your starting lineup for your Sacramento Republic FC, one of the top goaltenders in the league now. Jake Gleason, he has been playing better than just about anyone in the USL PRO. He'll be in the goal box tonight wearing number 1. The back 4, Emra Clementa, Mickey Daly, and Emanja Vukovic. Well, those 3 we've seen over and over again, but once and time again, Chad Bartolome will play that left back position. In the midfield, Octavio Guzman, Ivan Murkovic, Carlos Martinez, and Max Alvarez, and Adam John, and then Justin Braun as well. We know how Jake Gleason has played so well, and so far this lineup, a little bit of a change again, Kevin, as we see Chad Bartolome playing that left back position. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it surprises me. I don't think Chad's played too many games at left back. This might be his 3rd or 4th in his entire career. But you know what? In the games that he has played so far, performed admirably, done a very good job. And I think what Preki likes to see is Bartolome's attacking ability to get up that left flank, get crosses in. And that's pretty much the reason why he's in the lineup there tonight.
And we've got those up top again, John and Braun. Those 2 very similar height, similar build. There's been times this season they've struggled. They have not been on the same page. Do you think where we're at this part of the season, they've got to be better, and I think this is a really good test for them tonight.
It absolutely is. You know, I think that they're very, very similar type players, which you mentioned, Rob. And you know what? At this point in the season, you need to see these guys start to combine, start to click, start to gel much better than I think they really had over the last probably, 6, 7, 8 games. So I think now it's kind of the put up or shut up time, almost so to speak, with us going into the playoff push, the final few games, 6 games left in the season. They need to start combining and start scoring some goals together. Otherwise, there might be a change made and somebody else thrown in the mix to see if they can compete.
Well, this is the third matchup of the season. Oklahoma City beating Sacramento 2-0 in both matches. On June 14th, there was a little bit of a tussle, and Mirkovic was given a red card, and he's kind of had some issues really staying on the field ever since that match. He's back in the lineup tonight. I expect him to be a nice little regulator throughout the game.
Yeah, you talk about the red card Mirkovic got. At this point in the season also, he's kind of earned a reputation that's not necessarily the best thing to have as a holding midfielder. A lot of the calls that he's getting, a lot of the hard challenges that he's going in with seem to be called against him more often than not, and a card thrown more often than not because of his reputation for kicking people, going a little bit too hard. But you know what? That position, you need to have that gusto, that bite, that grit, which Mirkovic has. Unfortunately, I think his reputation's been tarnished a little bit to be known as a player that picks up too many unnecessary cards. But great to have him back in here tonight. Phenomenal, great holding midfielder, and hopefully he can kind of hold down the fort and deal with some of their attacking players that Oklahoma has.
Well, Samir Bader will be the goalkeeper for the Energy. He's done a very nice job so far this season, allowing less than a goal a game. Meanwhile, Jake Gleason, his averages are dipping around that 1 goal a game mark as well. This is a very defensively strong team for the Energy as well as the Republic. Offensively, it's going to be make or break here. Who do you think breaks through? Clearly, we have Delgado, Gregg, and Perry up front. You have John and Braun. 2 versus 3 there. Who are the forwards going to be maybe the men of the match at the end of the night?
Well, Stephen Perry, with the 3 players that they're going to have up top, Oklahoma, Stephen Perry's the guy who's going to be that playing that point position, playing as high as possible with his back to the goal, and hopefully he's going to have Delgado and Gregg running off him underneath the front, maybe even in the back. But I think it's going to be vital that Stephen Perry's the guy on that squad that's active, getting the ball played to him as much as possible. And on the other end with the Republic here, I think go back to just John and Braun. They need to combine well, find the channels. That's what Tommy Stewart does such a good job at. Makes great runs, and he's always the one finding his way in behind defense, which is something that's so dangerous to have, being able to connect on those passes. So I'd love to see John and Braun spread the field as much as possible, find the channels, find the seams, and really work off each other with 1-2 touch passes and get it wide and get those big bodies in the box and use that size and strength to try to get their head on the ball.
And the Republic and Energy about to take the field, and 2 players you're going to want to watch for Oklahoma City tonight. Kyle Gregg, Michael Thomas, number 8, the midfielder Thomas, and number 22, Gregg, a forward. Each have 7 goals and 2 assists tonight. Meanwhile, for Sacramento, Chad Bartlemay will be very key, and Ivan Mirkovic, the midfielder, as well. So those 2 players for each of the programs you're going to maybe want to keep a close eye on. They really could be the difference makers.
Yeah, Michael Thomas, the Notre Dame product, went overseas immediately after college to try to see if he can hook on with a European club. Didn't necessarily go great. I think he played 1 or 2 years there, came back to the U.S. to play in the MLS, back to his hometown club, Kansas City. Didn't work out. He bounced around a little bit. Here he is today, quality player, just a good, solid central midfielder, can play with both feet and just distributes the ball very, very well. So it'll be exciting to see how he plays in the middle today.
And now we'll go down to the field with our national anthem, and it's Renee Ormore with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
are more there, and maybe just the best rendition of the national anthem we've had so far tonight. It's just about match time. Kickoff moments away here. Rob McAllister, Kevin Goldthwait up in the booth for you on a beautiful evening in Sacramento. The Tower Bridge Battalion, they're up and ready to go, and I know that many of you are ready to go as well. Considered to be another sellout crowd here in the beautiful stadium at Bonnie Field here at Cal Expo, and you see the MLS sign. Clearly, a little bit of a message, I guess, to the top league here in America. We'll talk more about our trip to Portland later on in the broadcast as well. The Energy coming out in their away blues. They are green and white as well. Meanwhile, the Republic in the white kits, and they're coming with the maple and red shorts. And we are about set to go. Sacramento, 39 points on the season, puts them in third place, 6-1-2 at home. Meanwhile, Oklahoma City, 29 points, 8-8-5. They are currently in seventh place, 3-4-3 on the road. A very crucial match for them as they continue to try to work their way up the ranks. This would be a very big victory for them tonight. And as we go down to the coin toss, Mayor Kevin Johnson in the house tonight, and Justin Braun, the captain for tonight's evening. So Mayor Kevin Johnson will slide in for a picture with the club here. Now the referee, Joe Dickerson, Mike Campenart, Eric Earhart, and Alex Marquand Wilsey are your four tonight. Jake Gleason in the goal box, allowing just one goal a contest, and that has dropped dramatically in the last several contests. Now let's go down the field for the coin toss.
All right, Sacramento, you're home. OKC, you're visiting. You've got the coin toss. Eagle side is heads. Military side is tails. In the air, please. OKC. Heads is called. Heads it is. OKC's here. Sacramento this side. Sacramento is kickoff. Good luck, gentlemen.
So Sacramento will kick off. You'll hear that. That'll defend the south end of the field to start things off here. And so the captain, Justin Braun, and Thomas, the two captains here. And now the mayor.
Sacramento, let's make some noise! I want to say I'm really excited to be here today, and we're here to cheer on our home team. Tower Bridge Battalion, where are you? All right, repeat after me. I believe. I believe. I believe. I believe that we will win. Thank you.
So Mayor Kevin Johnson, we'll hear from him at halftime tonight. Talked about his trip to Portland with the Major League Soccer officials, sitting down in a meeting there trying to push this club to the highest ranks. Clearly the story is well documented about what he did with the Sacramento Kings, able to keep them in town, get Vivek Ranadive and a very strong ownership group with the Sacramento Kings, get them to buy the team from the Maloof brothers. Did just that. That team is staying in town. Now they're about to build a new arena. Well, here we are at Bonnie Field. This stadium just built in a few months, but they're looking for something a little bit big term, long term, I should say. And Mayor Kevin Johnson and Warren Smith and the Sacramento Kings may be joining all into building a brand new 17 to 18,000 seat stadium somewhere in downtown Sacramento. More about that later on. Kevin Goldthwait, it's time to play some soccer here, and the Republic looking to pick up their 13th win on the season here on a beautiful Saturday night under a full moon, and a little bit of a later start time because of a little bit higher temperatures, but it cooled down pretty well tonight. And key things, your keys to the match as we start things off here against the OKC Energy.
You know, I think really the first and foremost is going to be how Bart LeMay plays with the back four. He's done it 3 or 4 times now so far this year. Done a good job, but let's see how he can perform, see if he gets up and down the flank, get some crosses in, and how well he can kind of defend. The second thing is it looks like OKC is going to come out with that 4-3-3 formation, so it's going to be interesting to see how Sac can deal with that. We typically don't see too many of those 4-3-3 formations. But, you know, first 10, 15 minutes, how we deal with it, how we feel it out. And here we go as the game gets going. I think it's a great night for soccer. OKC's got to be amped up and trying to get some points here, which is a big game for them to kind of make their playoff push, get off on a good foot here. But great night for soccer.
Cool breeze here as we slide things down. Chad Bartlemay going to be someone to watch tonight. Wearing the number 5, typically a forward, is coming as a late substitution, but he's playing that left back position. But as we know, they like to bring them up. Vukovic played that earlier in the season, and he was typically working toward the net most of the evenings, but he is now a center back position, solidifying that along with Mickey Daly. And now as you see him come up, picking away, looking for Justin Braun, but here's Chad Bartlemain. His quick feet will be desperately needed as they try to put some pressure on. Octavio Guzman and number 19 has solidified a position, appears to be in the midfield as too. Kevin Goldthwait, here's a guy getting substitution minutes early on in the season, but now the Chico State alum, he's got some big time minutes and some big matches here.
Yeah, Guzman's one of those players that didn't necessarily come in here highly touted to the Republic. You know, performed well in the Open Cup games earlier in the season, scored a couple goals, had a couple assists, and here he is now getting the first team run and doing a really good job. Scored a couple goals as well with the first team, but love his story as he's progressed through the years. Confidence is built, and here he is starting the match against Oklahoma. And once again, one of those solid midfield players that can get stuck in and can deliver a good ball out to the flanks.
Glory, glory, Sacramento ringing in the background. It looks like Guzman will take the corner here. Sacramento in the first set play of the easy. No, it will be Max Alvarez, as likely the case here. Rodrigo Lopez out tonight. It was interesting to see how the Republic will be able to adjust. Martinez with a quick dump off, looking for Guzman, running along the end line. So in our injury report brought to you by UC Davis, Alvis Powell out, George Fochive with that right knee injury, Chad Bond still dealing with that toe injury dislocated against West Brom, and Rodrigo Lopez with a right hamstring. How does that impact the Republic tonight, Kevin?
You know, Roro is our guy taking the set pieces, does a great job. So I think, you know, Alvarez in there. Alvarez has got a great left foot, can serve balls in from that side with his left foot. Roro, we're going to miss him on that right side, set pieces, shots, and crosses. So that's first and foremost, that's what we're going to miss. And also Roro's distribution, how he can tuck into the middle and spray balls out left and right with both feet. I think that's the best thing that Roro brings to this team, and we're going to miss it tonight. And hopefully we can have Guzman or Mirkovic step into that role a little bit and start connecting with some of the forwards. Here's a good ball played through to Braun.
And pushing forward, Braun looking, trying to work the trim, sends it in, out of play. And it'll stay Republic ball. Carlos Martinez in for Roro tonight. It will go toward the Energy side here as a goal kick. It looked like Braun touched it last, but Carlos Martinez played in 2013, a tier team in Germany, played on the under-17, under-20 U.S. men's national team, though. So he's got some experience in pretty big matches. We've seen him fill in pretty admirably. He came against West Brom. And those West Brom matches, the two friendlies here, it seemed that they were just a different club after those matches. I mean, they absolutely torched Pittsburgh 5-0. They were more physical, they were sharper, they were faster, and they just looked like a better Republic team than we'd seen all season.
Yeah, I think that the thing that I noticed the most is how crisp and how sharp they were with their passes, especially that Pittsburgh game coming out after the confidence. Anytime I think you kind of play against a club like West Brom in the Premiership and compete against them and do a really good job, unfortunate not really to get a result, I think, in that game, but when you get that sort of confidence and attitude, you're going to perform well. And the big thing for them is how do they keep going on that full cylinders, on all cylinders, and moving forward. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can do that again tonight, but that's just a huge boost of confidence for the guys.
Yeah, they slowed it up here. They really were attacking in those early matches, and Sacramento seems to be trying to play a little more conservative right now. They're coached by Preki, two-time MLS scoring champ and MVP, also coached at Toronto and Chivas USA in the MLS. Meanwhile, Jimmy Nielsen walking the sideline on the other end for the Energy, a former goalkeeper, played at Aalborg for 400 matches, a Danish club team from 95 to 07, but finished his career with the Sporting Kansas City FC club, and played goalkeeper there 3 more years. Was kind of contemplating retirement, 37 years old. He helped win that championship a season ago for Kansas City, and now he's a coach's first-time gig, and looks like he's got his boys playing pretty well. Martinez in the middle of the park here. Adam John goes down. A whistle is called, and a foul will go against the Energy.
Yeah, we just talked about what we missed with Roro not being in the match, and this is a perfect opportunity why Roro would be very dangerous over this ball. But, you know, like we talked about, we have Alvarez out there, Mirkovic. Looks like Clemente on top of the ball, too. I'd love to see Alvarez take this with his left foot, but this is a good opportunity for Republic to put something on target, test the goalie early, get him going, see if he's ready to play tonight.
Well, Bader is hugging the near post, trying to decipher just exactly what the Republic will try to do here. We've seen a couple of benders over the top. Roro sent a beautiful one about 2 weeks ago here. Clemente sizing it up along with Martinez. The wall in front of it, sends it right into that wall, bounces back. Martinez on the pickup, and Daly will have to track it down. Now Daly back with a cross, up over the top. It was Braun, the intended target, and Bader comes out and picks it out of the sky.
Now, Clementa's got to do a little better there. Plays it with his right foot, tries to do a little curl over the wall, tuck it under the crossbar, doesn't necessarily get enough of it, bangs it into the wall. Love to see him at least get that thing on target and test Bader early here tonight.
Little shield working the right side.
Yeah, it looks like Greg's going to be the guy that's going to play the point with Perry out here on the right and Delgado on the left. So that's kind of interesting. Giveaway here.
Here's Braun.
Oh.
Just John, and Braun just slowed up a little bit, maybe an offside call, and just took a step too early. A little bit of quick surprise there, Kevin, and just seeing Braun wasn't even expecting the pass.
Yeah, a little tougher. You know, Braun's doing his work, chasing the ball down, getting forward. Giveaway by Oklahoma into Guzman. Guzman plays a little one-touch ball into Braun, who unfortunately didn't get back on side quick enough. But good idea. I love seeing the guys move forward like that.
This sent high over the top. Here's Martinez. Bartolome playing out of position, really only a few times this season. He's been playing that left back position. And, you know, learning the position for a guy who's played forward his full career. How tough is that transition, Kevin?
He knows what that position's all about, so it's not the craziest thing to think of that the player's going to play a completely different position. You would like to think that your center backs would be able to go in, up top and fill in admirably, but you know what? Bond has done a phenomenal job at doing so right now. It is a completely different mindset, and you get used to those the rhythm of the game as a forward where you're not necessarily chasing back. Here's a great counterattack opportunity for Oklahoma.
Delgado in the middle of the park. Little dump off to the right side. Gunderson tracking it down, and Bartolome with a nice save off the chest.
Yeah, Republic's got to be able to get out there on Delgado. He's taken 6-7 touches, traveling 30 yards. Republic, someone needs to step up, put pressure on the ball, slow it down. Oklahoma earns a corner kick out of that, so I think we're a bit fortunate that they didn't get a crack on goal. But here we go. We need to defend this.
Here's Schiffman from the near corner. Nobody in the box. They'll move forward. There's one, excuse me. Here's a cross and a header. A strong one, right side near post. Lucky save there. That was a bullet. And a good chance for the Energy to get on the board early here in the 9th minute.
Yeah, it looked like Craig got on the end of that one, and Clementa looked like he was marking up as well. Clementa did just enough to bump Craig, get him off balance, and force him to head that thing wide. But Craig makes a good run in there. Don't like seeing offensive players getting their head that cleanly on the ball. But I think we had Clementa doing just enough there to kind of put him off and make him make a mistake there.
And Greg with 7 goals on the season. He is a very dangerous player. Clementa and company will have their hands full tonight. And we look already as Gunderson here in the middle of the park doing a nice job with some footwork here. Bartolome lets Perry get behind him. Perry May on the sideline to touch, and he'll throw it in.
The tough thing with this 4-4-3, which makes me a little bit nervous for Bartolome, is when you have those 3 guys up top, and here's another counterattack.
Moving through, dumps it into the box. Delgado now cutting. And Vukovic will have to kick it out. Able to clear it, but Bicking back to it. Here comes Douay.
So going back to that 4-3-3 formation, the forwards are playing as wide as possible, which puts pressure on the left back and right back and makes them have more responsibility defensively. And Bartolome doesn't necessarily have that experience to kind of pick those offensive players up quickly. But it'll be a good test for him tonight as we move forward here.
Nice little chest trap, working the right side. Cuts over, trip, no whistle blown. Energy going the other way. They slow it down, thinking they didn't have a chance. But right now, early on, Kevin, as the crowd clearly wants a call, and after that whistle, Vukovic is going to have a few words with the official, the referee, Joe Dickerson.
You
but
know,
the Republic look a little off right now. They almost look like a step slow. It's almost like a jet lag situation.
You know, this position here with Alvarez going, taking the ball in, looks like he might gets touched a little bit. But I tell you what hurts him is the fact that he's right in the corner of the box. And if that's called, that's a penalty. I bet you if that's outside the box, I would assume that the ref's going to call that as a foul outside the box. But it's just unfortunate that's where he was on the field.
Little poke over the top. They're going at Bartolome. And a header into the box. Vukovic comes and saves it. So Bartolome played it out, and nicely done to get it inside was Gunderson, but Vukovic saved the day.
Perfect example of Bartolome not necessarily keeping track of the runners coming from the outside. And what you don't want to do in that situation is let the ball bounce like Bartolome did, and you get put under pressure immediately. So he's going to have a challenge tonight with dealing with those guys coming in, rushing, and kind of crashing down on him as balls are coming over the top.
And here is Schiffman, played collegiately at VCU, originally from Richmond, Virginia. The crowd shaking the stands, shaking the cameras, a low cross, and Justin Braun takes a hard tumble. Vukovic will try to clear it. Guzman looking for it, trying to push it the other way.
Yeah, good job by Vukovic. Good job by Guzman tracking the ball down, retaining possession here. But yeah, and Bartlome is going to have a test tonight. It's going to be tough dealing with those 3 forwards up top.
And your keys to the game here as we work in almost the 12th minute now, Kevin. You seeing that the Republic, they need to be a little bit sharper from what we've seen so far.
Yeah, a little bit crisper, and you know, they've had a little bit of time off since their last game, a week or so. So, I mean, maybe it's just going to take them a little bit to get into the flow of this game, getting used to the pace again. I don't think it's anything too alarming as of right now.
Dancing with it is Clementa. Dribbles toward the middle. A little poke in, a give and go from Alvarez. Back to Clementa, trying to spread it out. 80 yards wide, trying to get Oklahoma City to run a little bit. Here's a shot. Fires back up. Now Alvarez looking for another one. He winds up, turns the corner, and we've seen Alvarez do that quite a few times here at home. He has become more aggressive as the season has gone on. Low cross, headed away by Hedrick. Guzman back, now the Republic in control. Mrkovic to Vukovic. Mrkovic just back. Served quite a lengthy suspension for accumulation of red cards. Slow tap, Braun working toward the corner of the box. Bartlome will slow it. He's in the corner. Now he'll send a cross over the net. And Badir comes out to pick it up.
Good job by Bartlome getting up, serving the ball. And that was a nice little possession there by Republic, keeping the ball. Alvarez gets a good crack on target. Love seeing him outside the box on his left foot. I get excited up here whenever he has that ball on his left foot. So good job by retaining possession, keeping it, being patient, getting yourself forward again, and getting a cross off by Bartlome. Unfortunately, just wasn't the best runs weren't necessarily made. I love the ball in by Bartlome as we go on attack again here.
Here's a Napa Valley kid with a shot, just missed the far post. Strong left foot from Max Alvarez, and we've seen it a few times tonight. And really, that Alvarez, he is not afraid to take a shot from 25, 30 yards out.
He doesn't. He has that confidence right now, which is great to see for this kid, this rookie coming in from Napa, from Sac State. We talked to the coaches at Sac State and said he's got a ton of talent. He had a great freshman year, kind of petered off a little bit towards his sophomore, junior year. But you know what? Here he is now, getting a lot of minutes. And striking great balls with his left foot. I love seeing him with the ball on his left foot.
And there's Bader, sends it high. A little bit of a breeze tonight. We've had such hot temperatures here. 79 degrees here at Kickoff at Bonnie Field at Cal Expo. And we encourage you to send in your questions on Twitter as well. You can send to Sac Republic. And we appreciate it. Looks like we've got one already.
916 Pino Pride. He's asking us who's going to win MLS Cup this year. And Rob, I'm going with the Sounders. As a former Timberman, it pains me to say it. But you know what? They're firing on all cylinders right now and has a great counterattack.
I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Kansas
They're
City's
second place right now, just behind the Sounders in the Western. I think they've got enough talent to really push them at the end. But they've had some struggles this year, even though they're sitting in second.
Absolutely, and Kansas City doing a great job of retaining their talent with getting Beasler and Zuzi to stick around for a few more years, signing to both of them to big contracts, DP contracts. But you know what? The Sounders and Casey, I think, two great calls. Sounders have Dempsey. They got Obafemi Martins, Alonzo in the middle. They got a solid squad. And you know what? One of the funnest places to play in the U.S. up there in Seattle. Great place to play.
Sure is loud. We know that. Set piece here. Alvarez will step back. Braun in motion, along with Vukovic. Crowd up. Chance for this one's a low cross. Try to stop. Little header and skirted on. Goal, Adam John. How did that find a way, Kevin Goldthwait?
That's the perfect ball in that situation. Might have been a little bit low, but you know what? It's in the back of the net, so it doesn't matter. When you're in those angles out on the corners as a left-footed player, you want that ball to bounce right around the 6-yard box. The goalie can't commit to that ball because you got runners coming right across his face, and he's got to hold his ground. And as nobody touches that thing, hopefully it's going to take 2 or 3 bounces, go in the back of the net. Braun or John might have got a touch on it, but at the end of the day, that is Alvarez's ball played in there. You know, I think it might have been untouched. It looks like Alvarez. But a perfect ball in by Alvarez, curling into the back post. one of the most difficult balls for goalies to deal with is what you saw right there, because they have to hold their line and they can't commit until someone either gets a touch or doesn't. And in that situation, no touch is made, and it's too late for the goalie to make a save.
Well, they congratulated Adam John, and so they're going to give it to Alvarez officially, though I think you're right there. So Adam John may get the high fives, but, he did a nice job shielding his man, setting up that goal. And Sacramento strikes first here in the 16th minute. They go up 1-0.
Yeah, could have been touched going through there, but at the end of the day, ball's in the back of the net, 1-0 Republic. Great start. Love seeing that in the first 15 minutes. We've done this time and time again where they're scoring goals, or conceding goals, excuse me. Love seeing them get on the score sheet first here tonight.
So Max Alvarez with his second goal of the season, and it comes against Oklahoma City, the first time they've scored against the Energy this season, as they lost the first two matches 2-0. That was on June 14th. That was a scuffle there, and Jakubek was in the goal for that game. And so Jakubek very upset with himself, but the Republic playing with only 10 men for most of the match. The final 59 minutes with a man down. And June 28th, just a week or so later, it was Jazeri from the corner and Mark Howard in the 53rd, and Mickey Lopez got past Jakubek again, and now Adam John looking to get into the action, pushing it forward. Guzman over the top, Braun tracking down. And now Braun working, looking for Bartolome. Bartolome's working the trim. He's on the end line. A tough ball to play. Tapped into the net. Off the own goal. It looked like it went off an Energy player. And into the net it goes. So Adam John was the last Republic to touch it. And officially, it looks like Adam John got the first one. He's got two tonight.
Two, quick. Within 2 minutes of each other. Great run by Bartolome. That's exactly what Preki wants to see from his left backs. Getting up the wings and getting service into the box, which is what Bartolome did a phenomenal job. Takes a great first touch right there, gets past his defender, ball's right on the line. Braun off the chest.
Hedrick.
Off the chest of Hedrick. Probably an own goal, but that's Braun's effort right there. Sheer will and determination, put that thing in the back of the net. Fortunate for the own goal situation, but you know what? Great movement by Bartolome getting forward. Exactly what we talked to Preki about earlier this evening. Was he mentioned he loves seeing Bartolome. Here he is getting up the wing again.
And what you maybe lack a little bit on the defensive side of the field, you make up offensively. And Chad Bartolome having a nice pass. And here's a bender from Martinez. Sends it up and high over the crossbar. Well, this is how we saw Sacramento start against Pittsburgh. It was Tommy Stewart who nearly had a hat trick. He got 2 goals. Rodrigo Lopez picked up 2 goals in that match as well, and ended up being 5-0. It was just all the Republic from really kickoff until the final whistle blow. But for Cyprian Hedrick, that has got to be a tough chance, because he was trying to play it well, Kevin, and just turned his chest really the wrong way.
Yeah, I think that's the soccer equivalent of being handcuffed. Didn't really know what to do with the ball. Ideally, obviously, he's going to take the chest off his chest and played in front of him. I think it looked, like I said, looked handcuffed, didn't know what to do. It was between two minds. Chooses the wrong option, off his chest, into the back of the net. 2-0 Republic. Good ball there by Gleason getting out.
So it'll go on an assist for Alvarez. That'll be his 3rd on the season. And with that second goal now by Adam John. And so Adam John looking very good so far this evening as he continues to work it out. And he has picked up on the season what is now his 5th and 6th goals of the year. Puts him tied for 2nd on the team. So Oklahoma City already in a hole here as Sacramento tries to pick up another 3 points. An offside call is running down with Thomas. And Thomas trying to put some pressure on. Now, Oklahoma City, they're used to playing on a smaller pitch. They play at a Catholic high school in Oklahoma City. It's about 65 yards wide. Here we're at 80. Both 120 long. How does that play a factor? Maybe the way they play here tonight, and now that they got to play from behind, Kevin.
Yeah, those home field matches at Oklahoma, with it being so narrow, kind of like a pinball machine in there, things bouncing around. But you know what? It shouldn't really affect them too much. Everyone's here. All the players out there have played on big pitches and small pitches throughout their career, so it's just a matter of getting out here and adjusting quickly.
Justin Braun flying all over the place tonight. Little tap in Alvarez. He's in the box trying to get up front. There's John.
See, this is where you want Braun in the box, not out on the wing. I think that's what he tends to kind of float a little bit out wide.
And there he is again.
If I'm Preki, I want him in the box.
He's working, dancing inside, a little left-footed shot. It will fall short. So Sacramento now 36 goals on the year. They've just allowed 23, but their 20th goal at home here in Sacramento, they've scored 16 on the road. So far, they've been pretty balanced in terms of where they score and how they score on the year, Kevin.
Right, it's just the way that kind of, you know, the chips have fallen for them this season. But the big thing for me, what I always hark on and go back to is when they're conceding these goals. Is it early in the games, early in the half, late in the games, late in the half? Is it, you know, that's the point in the games where you need to be incredibly solid and organized and compact. And I think that Republic have shown that they haven't necessarily been there. But you know what? The last few games, they've really kind of amended that problem and fixed that problem. So it's been great to see that and love seeing the fact that they're not conceding, but they're also scoring goals here.
And they just seem to be on the same page. Great ball by Guzman, and then he just coughs it up. But you can see just the teamwork. They seem to be moving as one these days, and that's something we did not see early on. To be expected. This is the first year these guys have been playing together. And now over the top goes Perry, and into the arms of Jake Gleason, who's not seen much action tonight, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
but it's interesting to see them, Kevin, is where you see from earlier on in the year, they would score, they'd almost relax. Now when they score, they're right back at it, pushing right toward the net again.
Yeah, and that goes back in my mind to Preki. Preki doing a good job of making these guys, you mentioned that they're playing as a unit, they're moving, everyone knows their responsibilities, everyone knows their roles here, and that's Preki day in and day out training, doing the same 6, 7, 8 drills over and over and over and over again, drilling into these players' mind what their roles and responsibilities are, which is, in my mind, great to see. And I think that's the sign and quality of a good coach, how his team plays, if they're consistent and guys know their roles and responsibility, which shows, I think, a credit to Preki in that situation here.
Working that left side was Douay. And talking about Coach Preki, we spoke to him and just asked him how he's doing this season. And he told us he's the happiest he's ever been. Now, Kevin, here's a guy who played at Everton, played in the MLS, 2-time MVP, scoring champ. He's been a coach at MLS for 2 different teams. I mean, here he is in Sacramento, the USL Pro, and he said it's the happiest he's ever been. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me, and I think for all those fans out there, Sacramento fans, I think it's, great to hear a guy like Preki with Preki's resume, for him to say that he's the happiest he's been in a long, long, long time playing. He's been in some of the biggest situations, some of the biggest clubs in the world, played in MLS, coached in MLS for a few teams. So he's been around the world, been around the block, and here he is in Sacramento playing in front of these fans in this lovely city that we have, and saying that he's the happiest he's ever been. And I think it's just credit to Sacramento, and it shows that we got a pretty special thing on our hands here, and fans should really appreciate what we have.
And this team seems to be trusting each other more too, Kevin. We've seen the passes, they've been crisper. We've seen them more kept on the floor. They've been moving, and they don't seem to try to do it alone anymore. And that's the greatest thing, is when you have a Rodrigo Lopez out, and there's not a huge drop-off right now. I mean, this team is up in a big way. Max Alvarez and maybe it's Carlos Martinez, whoever, they step up. Now they're working in the box, coughs it up, Clementa back to Bader.
And, you work on this day in and day out training sessions, like I was talking about, the 6, 7, 8 types of drills that you're doing over and over and over, the repetition. For here we are being just over 2/3 or maybe right into 2/3 through the season right now, for the team to be kind of clicking the way they are right now. You see teams, that might take a year and a half for them to be gelling as well as they have as of today. So I think it's just, it's just kudos to Preki again for making sure that his club, his team is organized and the players are doing what they need to do. But I mean, for this club to come together in less than 1 year to be doing what they're here, is Braun going forward. For this club to be doing what they're doing today and playing how they're playing, I think that we really need to take a step back and appreciate what we're doing here in Sacramento, because it's something special. It really is.
And on the field, it's just been fun to watch, especially here they moved at Bonnie Field. Now, we know that the crowd and the excitement at Hughes was very intense. I mean, that whole stadium was just rocking, 20,000 strong here, a little bit more intimate. But you could argue, Kevin, the field and the play on the field, I should say, it's just been so much better.
Yeah, and, as a fan myself, taking myself away from our position here up in the booth, what I like to see is seeing these guys being so hard to play against at home. I think, with their record, that makes me excited as a fan to know that they want to come here out at Bonnie Field, play well in front of the battalion, play well in front of all their fans, and give them a show when they're out here. I think that's something that's really cool, really special, really unique about what we have here. And here, once again, I think we should appreciate the fact that that's what's going on right now, because it's so fun to watch.
And I like seeing Braun and John really attacking. You see Bartlome, makes a mistake, coughs it up, but he's right back at it. They continue to attack. They continue to push teams on their heels, and you see early on, teams get a sense of that they're being a little bit comfortable, and then the Republic just turn it back on. They've seen him have another speed, and here's Martinez waiting for a teammate. He's going to dump it off to John. John's now in the box, trying to get to the 6. He's in front and loses it as 3 converge quickly, but now Vukovic right back at it, and here they come again.
Here's Bartlome up the flank again.
Working that left side, trying to track him down as Perry. Works inside the box, now to the top, Martinez. Martinez looking for a shot, dumps it off to John. John trying to turn it around, shield his man, now he's going one-on-one. Falls down to the box, no whistle blown. He'll get back off his knee.
Yeah, good effort there by John, taking someone on, going one-on-one in the box. Well defended. Can't fault him for doing that. But here we go. We got Bartlome, who's just, the natural attacker. The instinct in him is to play high.
And that puts a lot of pressure on Vukovic and Daly, but so far it seems to be working.
You know what it does? It makes Vukovic and Daly need to be vocal and organized. And when Bartlome's up high, he's got to make sure that we have Emra Clementa on the right tucked in, so they're playing with 3, and vice versa. When Clementa's playing high and going up, maybe trying to serve a ball in, Vukovic has got a shout out to Bartlome to tuck in, get himself back in, so they're playing with a flat 3 essentially. So here's Bartlome playing high as Clementa's playing, which is kind of nervous for me up here as a defender. But
Guzman looking inside to Braun. He'll swing it back around. A little chest trap from Vukovic. Vukovic winding and just a little errant chip. OKC trying to get something going here. The energy looked good early on. Looks like they had it going, but Sacramento has continued to turn it the other direction and push it hard now. And now they'll get it right back with a throw-in, and it looks like it will be Bartlome. And it seems that from the OKC side, very organized. They seem to be in sync, and now they seem really almost lost.
yeah, they're kind of a little helter-skelter right now with what's going on. It's tough. You get 2 quick goals within 2 minutes put in on you. One an own goal that technically, really shouldn't have been a goal. And it's just a huge hill that they're trying to climb right now. It looks like, their body language is a little bit downtrodden and depressed almost. But, there's still quite a lot of game to be played here. We got 60 minutes left. So plenty of time for them to get in. And 2-0 is a dangerous lead to have because, 1 goal by Oklahoma, and it's a completely different game. That's always what I would call it, the most dangerous lead.
Murkovic to Bartlome. Bartlome grew up in Grass Valley. A little mini cross, a little chipper over the top, and Bader watches it sail to the end line and then cleared it. Almost a bad play by the Energy again. Gives it right back to the Republic.
But you know what? That's a great ball by Bartlome. Does a great job taking on the right back one-on-one. Gets a cross in. But John and Braun aren't necessarily making those right runs. It looks like they were both almost surprised by that ball being played in the box, which is the last thing you want to feel as a service is being played in the box as a forward. They got to be on the front studs, trying to make some positive runs forward.
Little flick on from Daly. Sets up this march by the Republic. Martinez has really been setting up. He served a really key role with Rodrigo Lopez out with a hamstring injury. Now Daly working up. That puts Vukovic back by himself as a lone center back. They continue to put the pressure on. John tapping it up, a little bit of a give and go. Didn't work out. And now they're going to continue to try to get out of this, but the Energy have not been able to get past that midline, Kevin. It has been a real match of territory, and Sacramento has continued to win the battle tonight.
That's just great work by Republic. Not letting these guys out of the box. That's just a poor ball there.
Nice steal by the Republic, but right back to the
Still can't get out, though. That's
Energy.
A good job of pinning them in here. Good work, and I think that's just anticipation by the Republic being a little bit more proactive than Oklahoma is currently.
Guzman flips it over the top.
Yeah, just bad decision on that ball. Should have played it maybe with the inside of his foot, played it to Clementa's feet. But good idea, though. That's okay. Pinned him in.
So the Republic unbeaten in their last 4 matches now. They've not posted a loss at home in their last 8 games. The Energy now unbeaten in the last 3 contests. So both these teams coming in here tonight playing very well, but Sacramento up 2-0 on 2 Adam John goals, and one with a beautiful ball from Max Alvarez on a set piece, and John with a slight tap able to get it in behind Bader, and then off the chest of Hedrick from John kick and an own goal, but it now has become a Republic 2-0 advantage as Braun gives it up. They just can't get their counter going tonight. The Energy have really been stuck. They just can't seem to find the spacing, Kevin. Here's a ball down the side. Gunderson trying to just do something. A nice ball by Bartlett, get off the chest and get him to throw in. That goes off the chest of Schiffman.
Yeah, you know, I don't think it's necessarily that OKC's playing poorly. I think it's just Republic's doing a really good job of being proactive, attacking that ball, winning the second balls, and moving without the ball. That's the big thing, too, is 1 and 2 touches. What players on the Republic? There should be 9 other guys making good positive movements.
Cross in the middle. It's a low one. It just kind of dead. Just stalled there on the grass. Braun wasn't there. John watched it sail. Martinez comes up. Aggressive play by the Republic. And those are dangerous because you might catch an elbow there, but you got to like that about the Republic tonight, Kevin. They have just been so aggressive, not afraid. They've got another match in 7 days. Plenty of time to heal.
Yeah, they're fighting. They're scrapping right now, which is great to see. Can they keep it up for 90 minutes? We'll see. But right now, first 30 in, I think I like the energy that we're seeing out of the Republic.
Sacramento allowing less than a goal a game at home this season. Jakubek and Gleason have been so good at Hughes and Bonnie Field this year. And it's just continuing to drop. That goals against average. Gleason was at nearly 2 at one point, and now he's just at about 1.
Yeah, Gleason's settling in nicely in his role here with the Republic. I think finding out, you know, who he's playing with, what guys he's having in front of him. You know, he's got a pretty solid 3 as of late with Clementa, Daly, and Vukovic. And it looks like they're starting to gel a little bit. Here's a ball over the top. See if Bartlett can deal with it.
Gunderson, and a flag goes up. Bartlett touched it last.
You know, that's not the worst foul to give. I think you'd like to see Bartlett be able to track that thing down and maybe knock it out for a corner kick or a throw-in even better. But at that position, he's definitely beat. So decent foul outside the box. Did what he had to do there.
And he's been saved a little bit tonight. He hasn't been tested too many times because the Sacramento's had it on the Energy side of the field for most of the evening. But this is a pretty good set now for the Energy to get right back into this contest. Yeah, it'll be Schiffman to set it down.
This is a dangerous position for Republic. Great position here for Oklahoma to try to make something happen here, and a great opportunity for them to, you know, steal one back maybe on against the run of play here.
Alvarez Martinez will set up a wall. Guzman will come up. Gleason stays on his toes as Republic and the Energy get set inside the box. Whistle blows, hands down, across high, looking for a header. Ball still up, and Gleason, 6'4" and all, snags it out of thin air. Great effort, and just kept his eye on it.
Yeah,
you gotta like the way Gleason's become very aggressive as well.
Yeah, he's a big, strong guy, so he comes out strong, grabs it, brings it down, snails it. But that's bread and butter there for Gleason. Anything like that, he's gonna be able to go out there, snatch it.
Well, it was fun when we were in Portland for the MLS All-Star game on Wednesday. Walking around, we had the Sacramento scarves on, and one of the fans say, "Take care of Gleason for us." It's kind of fun to see the Timbers. He's on loan from Portland, and they've been keeping a close eye on Sacramento as well. And we'll talk to Mayor Kevin Johnson at halftime about the MLS prospects. A little square kick sends back a little bit by Mirkovic. But it was just interesting to see how many people were in tune with Sacramento, Kevin. I mean, everyone was rooting for the capital city to land an MLS franchise, and we're especially concerned about some of their players as well.
Yeah, we were talking to quite a few people about what Sacramento's all about, and everyone's heard about it and heard about the great attendance, the great results we've had so far. But people are very, very aware of what's going on here in our great city of Sacramento, and it's been just so fun and interesting to talk to people about what they think and what they're hearing about it.
And the local media is showing up as well. Every TV station, pretty much website and radio station somehow represented at the All-Star game. And there wasn't any other visiting city that had kind of the press. And a whistle blown against Vukovic. And or is it going to be a Mirkovic now? And now Mirkovic wants an explanation, as it looked like Perry is on the ground.
Yeah, it looks like Mirkovic came in a little bit late from behind. The referee's kind of putting his foot down. It looks like he's going to his pocket. There's Mirkovic once again getting a caution.
Another yellow card. It comes late, and he has racked up quite a few, and he's got to be careful. And a similar situation where we've talked about it. He's got to learn to pick his spots, and now he continues to argue.
You
He's
know,
just got to learn to walk away.
Well, you know, in these situations too, it's tough because Mirkovic, that might be his first foul of the game. And as things are going, Bartlemy just had a hard foul down in the box. And as things start progressing like that, the referee needs to put his foot down and make a statement, make a stand. And Mirkovic, honestly, in that situation, whether it's his reputation or the unlucky of the referee needing to throw a caution in that situation, and Mirkovic is on the wrong end of that one.
Here's Schiffman over the top. Gleason's going to come out, punch it. Loose ball. Guzman clearing it. Headed away.
Like to see Gleason come out there and be stronger with that punch, but was dealing with one of his own players in that traffic trying to punch through the ball.
We appreciate you sending your questions on Twitter as well to now get to another one as we look. This one from, it looks like Santos. Do you think Jermaine Jones will end up in the MLS? Kevin.
Jermaine Jones is there are a lot of rumors and speculation. I think it's a great move for him where he is in his career. He's been playing over in Europe for quite a few years right now, and I think it's a good opportunity for him to come over. He's popular. His popularity is on the rise here in the States. I think it'd be a great opportunity for him to come back to the States and kind of really cement himself as one of the fan favorites in that U.S. national team squad. So I'd love to see it. Honestly, I really would, and I think he could, and I think he should.
Interesting to just see that the MLS All-Star Game, we had Bayern Munich in town as well. We had so many people wearing the German team and pretty much the German national team on that squad and how good they are. And it was just interesting to see, but there was some pretty big cheers for the MLS, and you could just see that, you know, there might be a lot of fans of some of the EPL or the teams like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, but the MLS is coming a long way, and some big-time players are where we know. We look, you know, Thierry Henry was there, and he was a great guy to talk to, and almost had an incredible goal off his knee and chest, but it's just fun, the excitement. You can see that the talent level continuing to get better at MLS, and guys are taking chances.
Yeah, there was really a good buzz up there in Portland with what was going on. MLS put on a great show. Bayern put on a great show. All-Stars put on a great show. But you know what? Right now, I think it's a perfect chance for a guy like Jermaine Jones to come into town, into the MLS, and kind of, you know, like I said, cement himself as a U.S. national team player and one of the fan favorites. I think he had a great World Cup. His popularity is on the rise. But I don't think it's a far stretch idea for someone like Jermaine Jones, who's played over in Europe for probably 10, 12 years now, to want to come over here, still really in his prime as well, to come over here and play for in the MLS, which is just, the league's just absolutely blowing up, expanding right now. And I think it'd be, you know, a good move for Jones to come on down here and join the ranks in the MLS. I'd love to see how he'd perform.
Middle of the field, Republic attacking again. Here's Braun. Braun with a shot on goal and hits the backside of Evans. Back again. And Bader to the ground to pick it up. Now, Bader has an interesting story. Samir, originally from Fairfax, Virginia, but you know, he played on under 17, under 20 U.S. men's national team. A pretty good chance here, but played in Egypt for a little bit, and Kevin, you well remember, and that was the Port Said Stadium incident where over 70 fans died because fans brought in knives, and so the whole season got canceled. That was really his one chance. He was playing well, and he had an opportunity, and his season just cut short just like that. And what a tragic incident.
Yeah, just
now he's getting some chances here.
Horrific, you know, incident, and you know, it's just bad luck for him to even be a part of that league, I think. But he was really, I think, starting to blossom a little bit, getting his chance in a pretty solid league to really, you know, establish himself as a keeper. And playing in those games is so valuable to play those first team games in any bigger league. So just unfortunate, but here he is playing. Great goalie. He's got the U.S. roots, which I love to see.
And he's played well. That was in 2012. He also played in Portugal, and so played for a B team there. But a guy trying to get some minutes with the Energy, because the Energy sent up Jonathan Kempen, who shut out the Republic 2 times. Little chip over the top, really gets behind his Perry, Bavukovic, and Bartlemy there. Now the Energy pushing, but Kempen was shut out the Republic 2 times in their previous meetings. He's been called back up to Sporting Kansas City, so that young man getting some pretty good play, but he signed at 17 years old, so they've got a lot of hope for him in Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City has done a really good job of attracting young talent. He's not the only 16, 17, 18-year-old on that club right now. So I think what Casey's done is going to be tried to be emulated here in the next few years. They've done a really good job, won the championship last year. But I think what they're doing right now in their organization is pretty exciting.
And so the affiliations of Oklahoma tied to Kansas City. And then Sacramento, of course, is the Portland Timbers and San Jose Earthquakes. Gleason, one of the on-loan players. Adam John on loan from San Jose. Tommy Thompson, San Jose. Tommy Thompson not playing right now. He's not in the game this evening. Evans as well. And Evans was the captain for the homegrown player match that was earlier in the week in Portland. Tommy Thompson also playing in that game. Now here's John trying to find Braun. Now it's back to Martinez. Swings it over. Spreading the field. Shot on goal. Hard. But Kevin well represented the Republic. Were two players ran into Tommy signing autographs out there in the middle of the village there, I guess, in not Providence Park, but I think it's one of the squares there. Providence Square is what it was called.
Yeah, Pioneer Square.
Pioneer Square, you're right.
Yeah, MLS, Adidas had everything going on there. A whole bunch of social media things, but in a little grass field in the middle of, a little turf field playing 3-on-3 in the middle. But Tommy Thompson was there signing autographs, shaking hands, kissing babies.
I think the young girls were pretty infatuated with the young Tommy Thompson, just 18 years old, and I mean, he's at the MLS All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting for that young man.
Tommy Thompson's got that.
And it's getting a little chippy here, but Bartolome just went over the top. Perry met no foul, neither did Bartolome, clearly. And
yeah, they're shaking hands.
I think Perry got the rough end of that one as the boot of Bartolome stung across. Well, here's Schiffman. Lined up in front is Martinez, Mirkovic. But Energy now starting to get a few set plays, and this is where it can get dangerous as we work into the 43rd minute here in the first half. Sacramento up 2-0, but the Energy trying to get back into it. This one sent very high, and a header missed completely. Daly will track it down. On the run, it looked like it was for Hedrick. On that side was Alvarez. Now a little dump off. Here it comes. Greg. Greg very dangerous. Off the end line. Maybe last touch by Oklahoma
Alvarez
City.
needs to do better in that situation. He's got to hold the ball. He's trying to do step overs and back heels in his own kind of, in his own half as we're trying to relieve the pressure. And as soon as he gives the ball up, we are in trouble. As Craig, fortunately, takes a heavy touch, goes out for a goal kick. But Craig almost had a crack on goal there because of Alvarez's poor play there. So it needs to be a little bit better. At least needs to know when to do those step overs and tricky things, but you definitely don't do it in your own half in that situation.
Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Along with Kevin Goldthwait, I'm Rob McAllister. Our first inaugural season here for the Republic. Little tap back, Bader clearing it quickly. As it has been an exciting season for Sacramento. A lot of people were just happy to have a team here in the capital city, and nonetheless, not only has the excitement from the fans been there, but the play on the field has been just as good. This team has moved up to third place, battling with the Galaxy and Oklahoma City.
Good ball in there.
Trying to work their way up as well. They're currently in 7th place. Cross sent high. Thomas, little flip over. Nice ball. Look, Perry into the box, and Mirkovic almost found it into the hands, and it was picked up by Gleason.
I think it's a good example there. Michael Thomas's skill plays a great ball into Craig. Ball served over the top as a cross, and once again, Michael Thomas keeps the ball, brings it down.
And we appreciate you sending your questions on Twitter tonight. We'll get to more of those here in the second half of play. We've got a couple lining up here, so we do appreciate that. And working it in the middle of the field. No whistle called. Energy able to win the ball, and Perry will settle it down. 2 minutes of extra time added here in the first. Off to the hand of Martinez. They'll throw in from Perry and Energy. We'll try to get a couple of good looks here in the final 2 minutes of this half.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing Mirkovic. He's pulling out of tackles, which he typically does not do.
Great
but
ball
once
there
again,
by Martinez.
He's got that yellow card in his back pocket so he knows he's got to be a little more cautious, which is not what you want your holding midfielder to be thinking during the game, is to be cautious going into tackles. And we've seen it before with him. It's just he needs to learn to kind of reel it in a little bit, calm it down, know when to go in hard, when not to. And I think that's one of the differences you see with the best holding midfielders in the world, and what they do well is they know when to go tackle hard, maybe when to earn and draw that yellow card, and when not to. I mean, that's just as important as when not to.
Well, and it seems that he seemed to really pick them up in the open field. When things are a little bit congested in the middle, he's been okay, but it seems that it's just almost too egregious, too wide in the open, and the referee has to make a call. Little dump off here, about a minute to play in the first, as Gunderson and Martinez has been a fun little matchup to watch. Martinez has done a really nice job of really thwarting any movement forward from Gunderson.
I think Gunderson's been very concerned with Martinez, which has allowed Bartlome to get over the top and get around the outside and serve some balls in. And that's one thing that I played left back quite a bit when I was growing up. Excuse me, a counterattack here.
And you got to have people in front of you. One thing in soccer you don't see is that one person's move can really affect yours, and Bartlome's been the benefactor of great play from Martinez. Alvarez in the middle, he's always dangerous to swipe one toward the net, looking for a shot of his own. He's got Bartlome on the left side. Bartlome with a little low cross and nobody home, and just kind of gave up on it was John. As like to see that ball a little bit higher.
Yeah, a little higher, a little harder. That's a tough ball to hit, kind of coming at that angle on your left foot. I would have liked to see him honestly take a touch and then just drive one in there, but good run again. He's getting in those positions that Preki wants to see him in.
And there is the whistle. So 47 minutes have gone by. Sacramento leads 2-0. Adam John with 2 goals in this contest. He's got 6 on the season. A great first half of play for the Republic here at Bonnie Field tonight. Looking to improve to 7-1-2. They've got another 45 to play against an Energy team that is trying to work their way into the playoff picture. They're just hovering around the bottom 2 right now. This would be a big victory for them. Sacramento's got a stronghold. But stay tuned here at the half. We've got Mayor Kevin Johnson coming up. And you don't want to miss this interview. We're going to talk about the future of Sacramento soccer here and what it means as the Republic and the MLS is concerned, and exactly what needs to be done in the next few months for this all to happen. A dream that just started about a year or so ago is coming to realization, but still a lot more work to do. We'll step aside here for a moment, come back in a few minutes, and we'll have the mayor, KJ, on with us right here. So stick tuned. It's 2-0, the Republic over the Energy at the half. And welcome back to Half Rob McAllister, Kevin Goldthwait, and a special guest here tonight, Kobe Jones. Thanks for hanging out with us. What do you think about Sacramento so far?
No, I'm loving it right now. I think it's been absolutely fabulous. I love the product that I'm seeing on the field, but probably more importantly, I love everything that's surrounding the game and everything that's going on here at Sacramento.
Now, you played a pretty big soccer all around the world here. LA Galaxy star, we know about that. What are you doing these days? I know you're doing a little bit of broadcasting, right, as well?
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of broadcasting right now. You know, Time Warner Cable for the regional broadcast. Fox, I've done a lot of national broadcasts, and outside of that, it's just staying involved in the game, you know, all the way from, you know, MLS and national team, you know, go all the way down to the youth development level. It's really just, you know, basically for me giving back.
Yeah, so, you know, Rob and I, one of the favorite things that we've been doing here the last few weeks is when we were actually down in Portland for the All-Star game last Wednesday, talking to people about Sacramento and what they've heard about Sacramento, what the Republic's doing. Can you kind of talk about what you've heard and what your thoughts are on what's going on up here in Sacramento?
Yeah, well, I've only heard amazing things, you know, from selling out the first, you know, 4 games to 20,000 and then moving into basically a soccer-specific stadium and continuing to sell out. I've heard that the demographics here are exactly what everybody wants. A lot of millennials, a lot of youth. So for me, everything that I'm seeing in Sacramento is the future of soccer in this country. So it seems to me to be a no-brainer. Obviously, there's a lot of things and a lot of, you know, hurdles that have to be, you know, jumped over, a lot of issues that have to be met to get, you know, an MLS team here. But I think the future in Sacramento is MLS. I think it's a natural fit.
Absolutely. I think you touched on the millennials. We have the amount of people coming out, showing up for the games. You touched on the big things that I think Sacramento really, really thrives on and what we've done a great job on. So I love hearing it from you from down south in the big city of LA, that you know what's going on up here. And I think it's just a great product we have on the field.
Yeah.
And for you to come out here and kind of reiterate those thoughts and those sentiments, so cool to see. And having you up here is something special that hopefully you know, the fans out here aren't driving you crazy asking you for autographs and all that
Hey,
stuff.
Dad.
No, it's been great so far.
autograph.
Look, when I was driving up, I was shocked to see the traffic coming into the stadium. It just let me know that everybody's passionate. They're getting here early, you know, and I was looking around, and like you said, the demographics of the people, it was from every walk of life. And I think that's what's so important, because it's not just for one group of people that are going to be coming to the games here. It's everybody, all types, you know, and I think that's what Sacramento's about. That's what soccer's about, so it's a natural fit.
So if you're Garber and Abbott in the front office right now, I mean, you got to think that as long as that stadium, the big, you know, what if, the elephant in the room, if that could be sorted out and handled, you think it's almost a shoo-in for Sacramento to essentially get that franchise, the MLS franchise, here in Sacramento?
Well, I think that's a natural step. You know, if you get that stadium, I mean, that's probably the biggest hurdle, you know, for anything. You get a stadium downtown. I mean, Sacramento's already shown that they can bring 20,000 to games, and not a problem. And as we've seen with other teams, we've seen with, you know, a perfect example is Kansas City, a team that was getting 5, 6, 8,000. As soon as they got their stadium, all of a sudden, I don't know how many sellouts is it now in a row for Kansas City?
They have blown up,
Yeah.
exactly.
So if you can do that, and you can do that here, you can only imagine that it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere and with great people here.
Kobe, what do you think about MLS and then the transition to the World Cup? We've seen the excitement, the viewership was out of this world here for America this time around. MLS is really starting to see that trickle down as well. Where do you see this in 5 years? I mean, is this something, was this a fluke this last year, or is this something that's going to trend upward?
This is only going to trend upward. We've seen it with every World Cup. I think the biggest issue with this World Cup is that the attention was much more than in the past. But every World Cup has been more and more attention. So I expect in the next World Cup, even more people are going to be saying, wow, look at this sport, look at soccer. The big issue now is, can you latch on to the casual fan that only watches the World Cup? You're not going to get them all, but can you get some of them? Can you bring them in? And it's about finding your area, each team. For the Galaxy, finding those casual fans there, getting them out to the games here at Sacramento, getting that casual fan out and all over the country, from Seattle to New York, everywhere.
When do you see that the best players in high school, the best athletes, start playing soccer? I mean, we've started to see that in other countries. Soccer is a sport you play. In America, it's a little bit of shift where it might be basketball, it might be football, but is it going to be soccer soon?
Well, I think so. I think now is the important part. I think when you see that MLS has kind of made a switch now when you sign DPs, you see that they're announcing how much the DPs are making, and that's important, because now the young kid has that opportunity. He can make a choice now. He says, okay, I play soccer, I'm good at it. I play basketball or football or baseball, and I'm good at it. Now it's not, I can't make a good living out of soccer. It's like, oh, wait a second. I can make a very good living. You know what? it's equal footing, I'm going to go with soccer. So that's what we're starting to see now. You're starting to see a lot of young talent, that homegrown athlete really start to come out and prove themselves, and we're seeing it. And I'm not going to harp on it. Everyone says, I'm a homer, but a perfect example is, look at in L.A., Giassi Zardes, a player that came up somewhat through the system, and he's doing an amazing job, a young American player. I mean, I think that's the next step that we got to see the young American players do well.
Yeah, Zardes is a great example. And I'm going to change the subject a little bit and talk about another great LA athlete, and that's Landon Donovan. So with his announcement recently that this is going to be his last year, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a right decision for Landon? I mean, obviously it's his choice, but what are your thoughts on him kind of, deciding to hang the boots up at the end of the year this year?
Well, I was very surprised, and Landon's always been the type that's marched to his own drumbeat.
Absolutely.
So I was surprised that it happened, but when I step back a little bit and think about it, it really wasn't that surprising. We had seen him kind of take some time
sabbatical
earlier. Yeah, the infamous sabbatical. And so if you look at it that way, it was only a matter of time before something like this would happen. Once he got to the point where he's like, okay, I've done enough. I've done all I can for the game. And for him to step away, I give him that.
Yeah,
he's done a lot.
Yeah,
he's done a lot for it.
Absolutely respect. He's done more for the game than I think that anybody has in the U.S. in the whole time for the U.S. soccer's history. But, as a 32-year-old player, 32-year-old man, he's got a lot of games, a lot of minutes under his belt. And really, before he took that quote-unquote sabbatical, he was playing for like 4, 5, 6, 7 years straight with his loans over to Everton and all that stuff. So, he has a lot of miles on those legs. And as a fan myself, I'm going to miss Landon. I love watching him play. I think he's one of the better – I think he's probably one of the best players the U.S. has produced. So it's just, a great storyline, but I'd love to see him continue playing or just continue in the sport as much as possible, being an advocate, being an ambassador for the sport, which I think Landon's absolutely going to do.
Yeah, give him a break, man. Let him rest.
Yeah.
Let him rest those legs. No, he's going to be involved in the sport in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't be surprised if Landon disappears for a while, 6 months to a year, he might just disappear, but he'll come back and he'll spend his time and do his thing. He's going to support the game. He's already said that he would, and he's a big advocate amongst youth as well. So I imagine everybody, you're going to get your doses of Landon Donovan when you need to.
Yeah, we're going to take a little break. We'll get enough of him later on down the road.
Yeah.
So what's Kobe Jones doing these days? I mean, are you still doing the broadcasting, but you playing on the side a little bit? You still playing pickup games? Kevin says he's pretty much done, but you still getting out on the fields here and there?
Well, like Kevin, I'm pretty much done. Unless it's a charitable endeavor, I'm pretty much done with playing the game because one thing they don't tell you, when you're playing, all those injuries that you had, the game might go away, but the injuries always stick with you, and they're still there. So it's a little rough for me to get out there on the pitch.
Were you having a good time tonight? What do you think so far about this first half? I mean, this Republic team, I didn't get to see them early on, but they seem to be playing on the same page. Their passes are crisp, and they're just aggressive. And do you like the style of play?
I do like the style of play. I think Preki is doing an excellent job as coach. He's got them playing together. I think John's done a fabulous job up top, actually holding the ball and actually allowing the rest of his team to come into play. It's great. And I think finally, and probably the most important part is I think I'm a good luck charm for you guys.
We'll have you
coming out to every game now?
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, hopefully we get him out here, Kobe Jones. We appreciate you coming by. It's been a pleasure to talk to us, and stick around long. Come up to Sac. Hopefully there'll be a little rivalry between the Galaxy, and we'll see you up in the booth.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, so coming back, we'll step aside for about 2 minutes or so, and then we'll come back, get your halftime stats, and we'll begin the second half of play. It's the Republic up by 2 over the Oklahoma City Energy. We'll be back after this. And welcome back to Bonnie Field. Rob McAllister, want to thank Kobe Jones for coming by. I know we promised Mayor Kevin Johnson. He actually had to get on a flight. He had a event that he had to get to, was hoping to get up before halftime, but could not stay long enough. But I guess we had a pretty good replacement in Kobe Jones. I mean, what a treat that was. And here we are underway the second half.
Kobe Jones is an absolute legend for the U.S. team. I'm sure if you're even a casual fan, you would recognize those dreads of Kobe's. Him getting up and down the right side with pace and speed all day. Guy could run forever, and just an absolute U.S. soccer legend. So great having him up here in our city of Sacramento supporting the sport. And I love to hear what he has to say about how he's impressed with what we're doing here. He loves the atmosphere. I love when he says the word millennials. I think we've got the demographic here that's going to support MLS, and it's just really, you know, if we get this stadium thing sorted out, it's going to be a matter of time before it's full-blown MLS here in Sacramento.
So we'll get more on the whole stadium and MLS effort as Kevin and I were up there. But just as quick halftime stats, 2 goals, both by Adam John, 16th and 18th minutes is where those came. Just the 1 yellow card, that was against Ivan Mirkovic. But for OKC, they've not been able to do a whole lot. 2 corners on the night, 1 save so far by Bader, and 9 shots on goal for the Republic, just 1 for the Energy, and even that one was a pretty hard header that missed far right.
Yeah, you know, great stats so far. Just keep that trend going here in the second half. I'm sure it would have been an interesting conversation. I would love to hear what Preki had to say in halftime, if he was happy, if he was upset with the play, but I can't imagine him being good play here by Alvarez moving forward. Here we go, Bartlemy up the left again.
Sacramento's been attacking. Cross over the middle. Short.
Yeah, poor ball. I tell you, that's a tough ball to hit. When that thing's coming out towards the left on an angle like that, it's tough to wrap your foot around it correctly. I would like to see him, once again, take a touch there, but love seeing him grit forward. And you know what? We talked, Bartlemy was one of the guys we were paying attention to a lot, being not a natural left back, more of a forward, which is just kind of, you don't see those transitions and changes much. But you know what? He's answered the call. He's had a couple maybe a little shaky moments defensively, but he's got up the flank, and he's got 6 or 7 services in the box. And I was talking about it earlier in the first half, that's how I would almost rate my offensive performance as a left back at halftime, is how many balls did I get in the box? If it's 0, you know you're in trouble. You need to be getting up the flanks. And you know what? Bartlemy's got 6 or 7 balls he's already served in.
So they blow the whistle, move a little too quick. No changes, so no substitutions. The first 11 will stay on for both sides here. And just to recap for you, that's Gleason in the goal box, Clemente, Daly, Vukovic, Bartlemy in the back 4. In the midfield, Guzman, Mirkovic, Martinez, and Alvarez, and John and Braun up front. Meanwhile, it's Bader, Hedrick, Evans, Gunderson, Douay, and then Thomas, Schiffman, Murad, and Delgado, Perry, and Gregg for the Energy, who trail by 2 goals here tonight. Kevin Goldthwaite alongside Rob McAllister here with you tonight. We appreciate you tuning in. And Kevin, here's Clemente into the box. He's looking again to the 6. Little tap in! Just right. A save by Bader. And working from the side with Hedrick as well. And a perfect ball on play there was for Adam John. Just couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, it looked like Alvarez played a long ball over the top to Clemente, who was streaking down the right. Clemente puts a good ball in on the ground, and it looks like John got just his toe on enough, did exactly what he needed to do. Maybe would have liked to dink it just a little bit, 6 inches higher. But, you know, good play again moving forward. I love that stuff, being positive and decisive there in that play.
There's the cross, corner, right into the gut.
That was the runs need to be better there. That was a great ball by Alvarez, driven hard.
Great tackle by Guzman. He'll get called for the foul as Schiffman.
That's fine. Take that foul, get back, get organized, get yourself sorted. But going back to Alvarez's ball, that's perfect. I mean, that's almost textbook what you want. Maybe just pulled out a little bit, so it's a little bit more difficult for the keeper to grab. But you need to have guys crashing the box and being, you know, excited to get that run in and make that run fully with all you know, 100% effort there. So didn't have it there, but like to see it next time, and it's good to know. If I'm Braun and John, I know Alvarez is going to serve a good ball, and so I'd be just absolutely amped next time he's got a ball on the outside. He's getting ready to cross it in.
I think it's good for the Republic, too, to also see that they have some other guys who can work from the corner there, and because they've got Rodrigo Lopez, they know that, but it'd be good to have 2 or 3 guys you can really count on, especially as the playoffs loom in just less than a month from now, as we have 6 games remaining, and then it's playoff time. Cleared it out here. OKC has allowed 21 goals on the road. They've only scored 18. That's something they're going to have to shore up, Kevin, if they want to make a run here. They're in the 7th place right now, but they are fighting for position. And we talk about scoring and really clamping down. Here's a program, or a team, I should say, that they've got to try to figure something out because they play very well at home, but not so much on the road.
Yeah, good teams need to find a way to get results on the road as well as at home. And it's amazing what home field advantage really does, but you got to be able to.
Clementa, nice move.
Got to be able to go into another person's home, another team's home, and be difficult and hard to play against. And right now, honestly, if you look at the stats, I don't think that the Oklahoma is being too difficult to play against, and they're not, definitely not. Ooh, hard tackle there. You know, no, I don't think there's any intent there. He's just late. Perry knows it. Bartolome, I don't think Bartolome's too upset about it. Just probably took a little knock that he's going to feel later tonight for sure. Looks like a caution.
So yellow is thrown. That's one for each team. Merkovich, and then Perry with the hard tackle, taking down Bartolome.
Here's
just
the
kind of
tackle
a
here.
lazy ball, and he tried to let up there.
Yeah.
And you know, those sometimes the timing's just a little bit off.
Yeah, no intent there. That's just part of the game. Move on. I like seeing that reaction from both guys, though. No need to get up. And
as a defender, I'm sure you've laid a couple of guys down. Here's
Me, no.
Clementa. Clementa with a nice move. Little chip over the top. Now he's working the end line. Shielding it is John. He's trying to find a teammate. Nobody's home. Tips it off to Alvarez with the shot. Just high crossbar. Misses by about a foot.
Yeah,
Great ball. It started to sail back down on Bader, too.
Great strike. Once again, Alvarez on his left foot. Every time he gets up on his left foot, my heart rate gets going a little because I know the guy can just absolutely crush the ball. Puts his laces right through behind the ball. Unfortunately, just a little bit high, but good job by Braun holding the ball up. Like to see him take less touches with the ball, but that's okay. And there's a strike there. Ball's knuckling, just moves right over the crossbar. Good strike by Alvarez.
And Bader had to come off his line pretty far, trying to get a fingertip on it. That thing starts to chip downward. It's going to be a goal for Sacramento. Nice move by Alvarez. Clementa gave up. Step back now. Energy coming the other way on the counter. Sacramento has played so well now. They have scored 7 straight unanswered goals here at Bonnie Field. They have been spectacular in USL Pro play. Tied Orlando City. And since that match, Orlando City has really struggled. They ended up losing today 3-2 to Harrisburg City. So a club that the Republic took on early. Here's Braun. Braun being pushed in the back. Now he's on the end line, sends it high over, looking for Martinez. Martinez not able to get there in time. Tough ball to play by Braun. But as you say, things going. It's been a very tough go for Orlando City. They looked like they were invisible early on. Now they're at the top of the rankings. And a foul is called, goes down Republic. It will go against the Energy. But you see the standings now, 15-2 and 4, 49 points. The Kickers from Richmond right behind them at 48 points. They are 13-1 and 9.
Yeah, I think
draws on the year.
Orlando has 2 games in hand on that one, but still, there's some, I think, a little bit, probably, the less of cushion than Orlando really would want it and probably would have expected here as half the season rolled through. But, last few games, they've dropped a few points. And Richmond's given a run for the money. With Orlando's squad, too, they got quite a few guys on that team that will be a part of MLS next year. And so to see them lose a few games and play the way they did in the first half of the season wasn't too surprising, but now maybe they're getting a little too comfortable. And guys are and other teams are coming in, giving them a run, and they're dropping points.
They stopped Richmond's unbeaten streak, like 23 games it was last year. And now Richmond coming right back at them. So 2 Titans at the top of the league, but Sacramento trying to put their stamp on things as well. Their play continues to get better. Justin Braun outside to Clementa. Clementa with a cross, sends it high and off the chest of Hedrick. But Sacramento has a little bit of work here as you look at these rankings. And a big loss, Harrisburg City, you thought, well, that was a big loss for Sacramento early on. But now all of a sudden, the Islanders are in 5th place in this table here as they move their way up, as they don't have the outstanding record at 9-8-6. But overall, Harrisburg City has really started to pick things up.
Yeah, 6 points really separating 3rd to 5th here. So it is getting kind of bundled up in that 3rd to 5th range.
Here's the corner. Headed by Vukovic, wrong way. Second chance, Bartolome. Bartolome plays it up. Cleared away by Delgado and Gregg.
Once again, good ball in by Alvarez, but here it looks like Vukovic is down. Might have taken an elbow to the head or maybe clashed heads with somebody. Vukovic is up saying he's okay.
Vukovic has taken a few to the dome this season. I mean, he's a guy who's really had to be in the mix a lot. I mean, not only his height, but his strength and size and the position he plays, and he's going to come to the sideline and get checked out real quick.
Yeah, I think the referee, for stopping the game as he did, I think he's got to send Vukovic off and just check back in the next dead ball.
I think he's got to get a look. He doesn't want to take a look, but the trainer's going to come over anyway.
Yeah, everyone, every league, every sports team's being overly cautious now with any sort of head injuries, as Vukovic is checking back in right now. But rightfully so. You know, I think Vukovic was a little anxious to get back in there, which is great to see.
Well,
He's
we
fine.
know players is we saw Jake Gleason, the goalkeeper, take a knee to the head and was just flat on his back.
Well,
ended up having 20 stitches or something, and he wanted to get back in the game.
Well, Rob, even in the World Cup, I think there was 2 or 3 players that were almost knocked unconscious, and there's no sort of concussion protocol that FIFA mandates. You know, every other sport, hockey, football, obviously, you know, these sports that have some sort of concussion protocol, that I think soccer is a little bit behind the times on that front. So it'll be interesting to see how that I think there was a new a rule instilled. Here's Alvarez, great first touch. Great
Urkovic
touch.
goes down, but the Republic pressing. All alone, streaking toward the net. Takes a shot on goal as Alvarez was pushing the back as he takes that shot.
Great.
Bader gets a save with a little hand on it.
Good save by Bader, and that's on. That might be the first time I've ever seen Alvarez use his right foot. I'm not kidding. But a great shot, great run, takes it 40 yards, gets it on his right foot, and tries to slot it near post, but Bader makes a good save.
Well, we're so used to seeing Alvarez pause and wind up and take a strong shot at the net.
So we got another tweet here coming in from Baker27 Marine. He's asking why there's not a promotion relegation system here in the U.S. And you know what? Interesting you asked that, as we were down at the All-Star game, and Abbott, one of the head officials or the front office guys for MLS in New York, he talked about it. He touched on the subject on why we don't have that here in the U.S., and I think he flat out denied the fact that we will ever go to that sort of a promotion relegation system. Me personally, as a fan, I would love to see something like that. I don't know if the infrastructure here is yet fully established and can handle that sort of promotion relegation system. But you know what? It is one of the great things why I love watching the EPL and all the European leagues, is because not only is there a huge battle up top for the top 3 spots or top spot, but there's a great battle down below for that bottom 3.
And Mark Albert also alluded, or Abbott alluded to, baseball has talked about that as well, as taking some of those minor league, the AAA teams. There's such a close difference, and there was talk about the Houston Astros years ago because they were so bad, and it would say, why not penalize those bottom teams and move them up? And I think you're right. It really comes down to there's not enough strong second or third tier teams. As hard to the deck goes Morad, but there really is not enough strong teams in the second or third tier to really probably play up at the MLS level.
Yeah, and that's probably the concern. I would imagine if I'm Mark Abbott right now and Don Garber, that would be the first thing that I would look at and think about. Can these teams handle it? In Europe, you have the system with TV money involved, where, you know, as a team's promoted in EPL, for example, from the championship to the premiership, you know, there's like a 50 million pound infusion of money immediately that they get. There might be some sort of balloon payment where you can't spend it all in 1 year, but you have the ability to go out in the open market and buy players, which is just, you know, really gives those clubs an opportunity to bolster their squad as quickly as possible. But it's tough. It's tough. You see a lot of teams go up, go down, go up, go down, because it's a tricky thing to find the right players, to buy the right players. But, you know, an exciting thing. I would love to see it in the U.S. I just don't think that we're mature enough as a soccer country to handle that. But, you know, maybe down the road in the future.
So a couple of substitutions as Javier Castro comes in for Perry, and it will be Jimmy Madranja who will come, and he will replace Murad, excuse me, as we look at the rosters here. So they've set up where Madranja now in the midfield, and Castro as one of the 3 strikers for the Energy. Trying to change things up, trying to get a little bit more speed, maybe some fresher legs there. The Energy has been stuck at that 2-0 deficit ever since the 18th minute. Adam John scored a second goal, is off the chest of Hedrick. But Adam John with 2 tonight. He's got 6 on the season. Playing very well. He's been in the right place at the right time tonight. Sacramento very aggressive. They come out here in the second half. Had a couple of chances on a set play, just not able to get one into the mouth of the goal. Beautiful evening in Sacramento. We've had so many warm nights here this season. So Bron John looking for Martinez. They cough it up. Mirkovic wins the ball back, but now Energy looking for a counter. And that's the one thing we've seen the Republic do so much better, and looks to be a handball there. They've been able to recover on their mistakes. Earlier on in the season, they didn't really do that all the well, but we've really seen the last 3 or 4 matches, they've really done a better job of that.
Ooh, hard tackle there.
And a fan takes one off the face almost. And a hard tackle on the floor as well.
Martinez went
and
in.
it looks like Gunderson is down. So we, out there in Portland, and we had a great time, and we had a lot of fun meeting, talking about Sacramento, but the meetings, and that was a whole nother story. As Mayor Kevin Johnson, Chris Granger from the Kings organization, who's interested in likely becoming the majority owner of this Republic franchise. And then you had Warren Smith from the Republic, the president and founder, all in meetings with MLS, and they said, what do we have to do? And they gave him 3 things. They said, you need to establish a fan base. Well, it looks like they've done that, breaking the attendance record set by Orlando City last year. Number 2 is get that ownership group. And here comes Adam John on the break, goes down hard, and a whistle is not blown. Sacramento fans a little disgusted by that. A steal by Clemenza. And Clemenza had a play. And the final thing is that they needed to get a stadium, and we're looking for a 17,000, 18,000 seat stadium. The MLS officials will be coming to tour Sacramento. Great tap. Here's John, just strikes it too hard to the right side, near post. Probably should have gone to the left with it. And just almost a little too antsy on it, and falls on his arm and shakes it off. But Kevin, just like that goal, a near miss there, it shows just how much of that separation you'd probably need to have. A footstep earlier may have made all the difference.
You know, that's good combination. We talked about it in the beginning of the broadcast about John and Braun combining up top. John gets the ball played into him, plays a beautiful little one-touch, just nice, deftly touched right into the path of Braun. Braun takes a touch and needs to probably compose himself a little bit better there and try to find target. In that situation, you absolutely have to find target. Make the goalie make a save. And, you know, if I'm Preki, that's the one thing that I'm teaching these guys is telling them in that situation, you got to find the target. But you know what? Good forward play, and I'm happy to see Braun and John combining in that situation there.
Great little set here by the Republic. Their offense is really pushing, but we talk about that push to MLS, and everyone's talking about it. They think Sacramento's got it, but you've got to have the stadium, and pretty good sign that MLS is coming out. And what we've heard is Sacramento now one of the top teams to likely get a franchise. We know earlier this year it was a possibility of maybe, oh, you could be in the top 5. Sacramento just moved in first place. Minneapolis still a threat. Las Vegas also had a delegation there. But you know what, Kevin? It might be Sacramento's to lose at this point in terms of gaining that next MLS franchise. They want to expand to 24 by 2020. And Sacramento thinks they'll be ready even before then. Here's Martinez, nice move, into the box, across. Too high, looking for John. So a lot of excitement. I know that fans back home were tweeting us quite a bit, asking us what's going on in Portland. And I know that it was exciting to be able to share with them exactly what was going on.
Yeah, and talking about the expansion again, I think that as Sacramento fans, Sacramento anything fans, we got to give credit to Warren Smith and his staff that he's put together. Erica Bjork, Joe Wagner. I mean, the group that they've put in place is absolutely phenomenal and first class. I think any MLS franchise would be happy to have the staff that they have that they've put in place. So they've done a great job. They put the seats, the people in the seats. They've shown that they can bring 20,000 consistently. And you know what? I love the phrase, it's ours to lose, because I think that's really the way I feel it is right now. It's ours to lose. We got to make sure that we can perform and put a stadium together, which is way easier said than done. But you know what? That's what it's going to take to get an MLS franchise here, which will be just phenomenal for the city 5 to 10 years down the road. Think of what we have. Kings in the winter and then the Republic in the summer. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic.
And making a lot of headway here. And local kid Tommy Thompson from Granite Bay High School checking in. He replaces Carlos Martinez. And then J.J. Koval, who was on loan from the Earthquakes and played 10 minutes last night with the Earthquakes. So he is here getting in the action, and he's taking the place of Octavio Guzman. So J.J. Koval, who's been on loan, was supposed to be one match, is now getting a few games under his belt with the Republic.
Yeah, Preki had some nice things to say about Koval, how calm and hard tackle there.
Hard tackled. Braun goes down, no call.
But how calm and composed Koval is on the ball. It's kind of that calming presence in that midfield. needs to be refined a little bit, but you know what? That's a big, big trait. That's one of those unteachable things in my mind, is how calm and composed you can be on the ball. And Koval kind of, he has that aspect to his game pretty dialed in. But I like what I'm seeing from him. He scored a goal for us, 2 goals already for us excuse me, two goals for us in the Republic, 1 against West Brom. So, I mean, he's firing right now and getting some minutes with the first team, which is good for him, probably good for his confidence.
Those minutes may not be there as they shifted this lineup just a little bit. We've really seen the back 3 be solidified with Clementa, Vukovic, and Daly. Those 3 don't appear to be going anywhere, but there's been some changes. But it seems Octavio Guzman's kind of picked up a spot for him. And up front, they've changed those forwards around to give the best combination possible. And there's a lot of guys who have played very well. Here's Koval for the first time tonight. Dancing with it, moves to his right, and a little hop into Bader, who picks it up into the 6, and he'll come out with it.
Good ball, good effort by Koval, but I think that's a good example of why Koval plays in the middle and not on the outside. Would obviously like to see, an Alvarez out there or a Clementa, but good effort by Koval, getting himself forward, getting in the attacking third and trying to do something positive.
Greg tries to make a move there. Now, Kyle Gregg, he also in the offseason was the assistant coach at Benedictine College. That's where he went to school and played with the Sporting FC Reserves team in 2011. So he's on the mind of Kansas City as well. And the way he's played this season, he's definitely going to turn some heads and likely could have a chance to really make a move, because he is now the team leader in minutes played, 7 goals, 2 assists. And they need his foot here, as they really are behind 2-0 tonight, but they're going to look for some guys who can make a difference, and he's one that's made a difference so far this season for the Energy.
Now, I think also going back to Koval, he probably would have played the majority of the minutes tonight, but he probably flew in this morning from LA after getting a quick run last night. But not an easy task to come in, travel one morning and come in and try to play a full game. So hence him playing only probably 30 minutes the remainder of the game here tonight.
Here's John, pillow feet, makes a move. Not able to get it in time. Dangerous ball by Bader. Clementa comes out with the steal. Will he win it? Not able to. Referee tells him to get up. Alvarez finds John, looking for Braun. Skirting the left side, here comes from the left flank, a power shot left side of the post. Bartolome had a beautiful look at it and wound up, just couldn't send it through.
Yeah, Bartolome's eyes are probably the size of watermelons there as that ball's coming across, just absolutely winds up for a big blast with his left foot, puts his laces right through the back of the ball. Great save there by Bader as he tips it onto the, it looks like it hit the post and out for a corner kick, but good save. Good movement once again by Bartolome. How many times we said Bartolome's going forward? Bartolome's name's going forward as this half progresses. So he's done a great job there, kind of answering that call as we talked about earlier.
9 shots this season, the cross, and the whistle blows before the ball is in, and a missed opportunity by Sacramento.
Yeah, kind of a soft foul in there. Braun's not liking it.
Slow to get up. Wind picking up here, and the substitutions have picked up as well as Sacramento. Looks like they'll bring in Tommy Stewart in for Justin Braun. So Braun has had, this is pretty typical for the Republic, about that 70th minute mark. They usually bring in a new striker to try to change things up. And Tommy Stewart has been fantastic this season as he continues to find the net over and over again. And so he will check into the game. And Tommy Stewart on the year, 7 goals and 3 assists. Tied for the team lead with 7 with Rodrigo Lopez. And a different look here with the Tommy Stewart now in. Kevin, what does this mean for the Republic? So when you have Tommy Stewart, does it change things up a little bit with Braun? I mean, you take out Braun, you bring in now the combination of John and Stewart. Is there a little bit of speed difference? What is it?
Yeah, I think John, coming in for Stewart, stepping in here, I think once again, his strengths is the runs that he makes. He finds the channels great, just does a good job of he's got that soccer IQ that I think he's just grown up playing with the ball at his feet his whole life. And he finds the channels so well. He spreads the field really, really nicely. And I like to see him spread the field, which will hopefully give us a chance to kind of, move things forward and maybe grab that 3rd goal. Which
here's the Energy with a header. Still loose. Gleason didn't have to make a play on it, and it was Hedrick who last touched it.
And it also kind of just adds a spark of energy up top where Stewart will be able to kind of run around, chase a little bit. put pressure on the back four. But the big thing is what Preki would love to see right now is that third goal. That third goal really kind of cements this game as ours. And right now, any little thing, a set piece, a fluke set piece, score a goal, one sneaks in, we're all of a sudden, we're in a tough situation. So I think it's a good substitution, yeah, and the right guy to come in here.
So Tommy Stewart from Northern Ireland, played with the Shamrock Rovers in 2012 and 2013, scored 11 goals. He's got 7 here with the Republic this season, so having a much better year. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not he will be back with the Republic in 2015. I know it's a guy they'd like to keep around. Very solid player, and he has just been a very good mainstay at that striker position. Those 3 up top have been nice and fun to watch. Here's Stewart already, runs so well, looking out to the left side. Sent toward the middle, looking for John. Tommy Stewart, who just checked in. Or Tommy Thompson, I should say, who just checked in. Getting a good look at it, but now here's a foot race. Getting back is Clementa. Clementa able to stall just a tad, makes a move. Here's Madrana. And so Madrana, who just was able to work his way in here, plays Sporting KC, just 20 years old. A lot of promise for that young man. We're working in the 72nd minute here at Bonnie Field. Rob McAllister, broadcast partner, as always, Kevin Goldthwaite. As the wind picks up, a little bit chilly here. Fans came in here a little warm, probably to bring out the sweatshirts now. Here's Madrana. And he goes down hard, and we may see a yellow card. And Mickey Daly is hit with a caution.
Yeah, tough foul by Daly. Daly just kind of, diving in a little bit. You'd like to see him work his feet a little bit more, but you know what, with having that sort of pace coming at him with Madrana, you're kind of got to take that chance, and unfortunately he got caught. Absolute foul there, but once again, this is what we talk about. This is a set piece, and if a good opportunity for OKC to get themselves on the scoreboard, and they need to be solid. Republic needs to be solid defensively and make sure they don't give away these chances, especially in these positions on the field.
So Gabe Jissy looks like he will check in soon, and a couple of substitutions for the Energy as well.
And it's one of these things too, Rob, that OKC hasn't had a good go tonight of creating chances in the open field, and if we give him these opportunities as we see him.
Here's Schiffman. A little bender into the box, a header, still loose. Energy able to track it down, and a whistle blows, and it looks like offside. So Gabe Jissy now on the sideline waiting for a substitution. Just graduating high school this year. I mean, this young man from Liberia, just 18 years old, and he's going to come in, and he's going to replace, I believe, Max Alvarez, and it will be. So Jissy will be fun to watch, Kevin, as he comes in. He changes the match because he's got some speed. And so now you've made some substitution on the Energy side, and really almost a balanced change for the Republic so far. But now Jissy could really change the pace for Sacramento.
Yeah, Jissy can change the pace. Alvarez coming out in the 73rd minute, one of the former Sacramento Gold players, taking a seat on the bench. But you know what? We're seeing some substitutions that Preki's making right now. Looks like he's trying to add a little spark, some energy, as he's not. A good little flick there by Braun, pillow feet Braun there. Or excuse me, John.
Oh, nice move back forward. Working toward the net, makes a left into the net. In between the legs, a goal by Kyle Gregg. Did not call the offside. Republic was looking for it, and Gregg able to score again.
And we'll talk about this one, Rob. This is how quickly things can change. We got the counterattack, the quick counterattack after John does a little back heel. And here's the finish here as Gleason's coming out, closing down that angle.
Just right in between the legs, and Gregg picks up his 8th goal of the year.
Right, finds the wickets of Gleason. Gleason does a pretty good job there of trying to close down that angle, but unfortunately, the timing of his shuffle there caught him right as he was opening up the legs. But it's such a quick counterattack, and here we are, 2-1, new game. We got 15 minutes left to go. And if all signs are pointing the way they're pointing right now, it's going to be an intense 15 minutes. That's how quickly we just saw things can turn around. So we'll see what happens in the next 15 minutes. But I think Preki needs to make sure his back four stays solid, compact, and make sure they're communicating as much as possible.
Square over to the top. And Oklahoma City, who held scoreless for most of this match, now on the board. And Sacramento made a couple of substitutions, and the team played so well that first 11. And now this team's going to have to try to find a way. And there's Madranda. Madranda with a shot on goal, tapped by Daly. Daly with a nice save.
Momentum is shifting here a little bit, Rob. It's almost shifted fully, but let's see if you can get someone. I'd love to see Mirkovic take control of this game a little bit, put his foot on the ball, slow it down when you can.
Losa crossed by John.
But right now, if you're Republic, you need to slow this game down. You're seeing OKC kind of pushing out hard here. The turnover. Slow the ball down, Stewart. Keep possession.
And here's Tommy Thompson. Tommy Thompson moving. And there's Warren Smith at the Tower Bridge Battalion. Here's a shot on goal, sent high. And OKC has taken a couple as you see Warren Smith enjoying his time with the Tower Bridge Battalion tonight.
Yeah, look at that big old smile on his face. Warren's having a good time out there. Good shot there by Koval. Was deflected by a center back out for a corner kick. Good play again by the Republic. But going back, Warren's having a really good time here, Rob. He's enjoying himself.
So Greg, who just scored, he's going to come out now. So OKC continues to make substitutions tonight.
You know, Warren had some pretty good dance moves in there, by the way.
He's got to be feeling pretty happy. That's why.
Yeah, a good
as
week.
Paul Wyatt checks in. He's alongside the corner kick. Villon is in as well. High and deep. Tough ball. Clear. Working in the box. Energy has done a nice job, though, of playing those corners tonight. Sacramento has not really made a strong shot on goal with that. From Alvarez in the middle. Jissy. Jissy dancing. Dissy's got some moves. He's got some speed, but not able to make the play. And now Daly will track it down, is making a run on it. Goes Castro.
You see the energy, the pun intended there, I guess, but the energy that the energy is playing with right now. They're trying to get that goal. Trying to get some action going forward, but you know what? What Republic needs to do is they need to slow things down, take the tempo out of the game, keep control of the game, and when we have the ball, keep it. No need to force things. That's a decent tackle, actually.
Slacko by Jissy, and they're gonna give it to Oklahoma City, and it was Madranda who was there. Over to play it now will be Schiffman, and another substitution. This is the 9th substitution now between both of these clubs, and it's interesting to see on a cool night how many substitutions as Douay comes out, and it'll be Kyle Miller to come in.
You know, they might be going 3 in the back here, throwing another guy up in the attacking zone somehow.
Schiffman bends high. Mirkovic. OKC still in play, and another foul called. It's getting a little tight now.
That looks soft to me, honestly. It looked like, I'm not sure who ended up getting fouled, but it looked like he was looking for that, looking for contact.
Looked like Hedrick.
Looked like Hedrick, yeah. And honestly, back to goal. He's moving away from goal, outside the box, looking, waiting for some contact, gets it. And honestly, if that's a foul, it's got to be a penalty. He's probably in the box. So if I'm OKC, I'd be screaming right now. Fortunately for us, it's outside the box.
And it's interesting to see where they was trying to keep control of this match here. And now we're seeing a little bit of a different page here. And Sacramento back on their heels as OKC now in a very good position.
It's like, here's
show you the replay. So he's outside, and both players go for it, and Hendricks goes down. And now here we go, the live look, a little short tap, a powering shot sent high over the bar. And it was Evans with a shot on goal. Sacramento breathing a sigh of relief there.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I think Cyprian Hendrick was probably in the box there. So fortunate there for the Republic to have that thing outside the box. And interesting by Michael Thomas there, for rather than not taking a crack on goal, plays it across the face, and Evans just absolutely blasts it. And Warren Smith still in the battalion, having a good time.
His team's up 2-1 right now, but the Energy have just scored within the last 5 minutes. And they are looking to get one more on the board and at least get a draw here tonight. And now another card's going to be thrown.
I think this is for Gleason for delay of game, which is pretty quick to the pocket there by the referee. I mean, not even usually, typically you get a warning from the referee for any sort of delay of game or time wasting, but no, reaches straight for the pocket. Looks like Gleason picks up that caution.
So Joe Dickerson trying to get a handle on this match a little bit. Clementa working high. Here's John and Stewart. Nice job by Pillow Feet. Tommy Thompson now. Tommy Thompson dribbles toward the middle, finding a teammate who follows, slowing it back up. Clementa powering it, looking for a teammate in the middle. Working in the box with Stewart and John, and just tried to force it in. Handball not called, pushing the other way. Here comes Wyatt. Wyatt gets it out front. Gleason will take it, no call. But running that same wing was Castro, and alongside was Madronda. Good out here by Gleason to send it the other way, but OKC now a little bit sharper. They've been winning the battle of the possession here. Bender over the middle, Vukovic. If you're an OKC fan, you got to feel a little bit better about this right now. They've really been on point.
Yeah,
They've been together.
Momentum's absolutely shifted right now.
Here's Madronda working the trim. He's on the end line. Setting it back up, back to Madronda
Offside.
again. Offside. Camped out a little bit too long, and it paid the price for it.
So now here we go, 10 minutes to go in this in the game. We're got the 81st minute, 82nd minute right now. Most important time needs to be thought about and considered here when Republic has the ball. No need to go flying forward and start throwing guys forward. Bartlome, I would love to see Bartlome stay home, Clementa stay home, and make sure that they're solid in the back, keep the ball, don't necessarily try to force things down the middle or down the outsides. But they need to keep the ball. That's the biggest thing, and you'll see mature teams. They know when to keep the ball, big ball forward here.
And looking over the top, and we see that at home, OK City likes to do this, just throw it over the top. But the strikers go out and see if they can get it, trying to implement that game plan here tonight.
Yeah, Republic are kind of all over the place right now. They're not necessarily that organized, which is what you need to be here in the last 8 minutes. You got to be organized. So you want to see, hopefully, Daly and Vukovic start shouting at people, get Mirkovic, make sure they're vocal. But this is a tough spell in any game. As guys are tired, I think Republic, obviously are now up for a dogfight here the last 8 minutes.
Here's
Didn't want to be.
Low, Stewart. Here's a shot. Right back hits the advertisement, too wide and far away. But you're right, Kevin, as we see, Republic, they controlled the possession. They had the team, they had OKC on their heels for most of the first half and into the second, but things started shifting around the 60th minute mark, and that's when we've seen now the Republic not really on the same page with each other. It seems that they're trying almost a little too hard, and the energy of the one who have settled into things.
Well, the big thing is we talked about 2-0 being a dangerous lead, and I think this is a perfect example of that situation where everything, great ball over top. Everything's looking great for Republic. We're moving the ball, we're keeping the ball. OKC's not getting many chances on goal, but as soon as the ball slips into the back of the net, now it's 2-1. The momentum absolutely shifts where Republic seem to be not necessarily proactive, they're more reactive, and OKC's being proactive rather than being reactive. So the momentum's just shifted, and this is a prime example of why that 2-0 lead's difficult, and I think Preki was trying to force that third goal to go in by the substitutions of Stewart, Tommy Thompson, and even having Jissy go up top as well to try to spread the field a little bit. But now it's just it's gonna be a dogfight here the last few minutes.
Nearly giving it up is Koval. Koval back to the middle, looking for Tommy Stewart in traffic. Clementa will play it along the touchline. So you put an attacking group here, and then they're being asked to play a little bit differently.
See, if I'm Republic, I want Koval on the ball as much as possible. He seems to be the guy that can calm things down.
Mirkovic.
And if I'm Preki, I'd probably be shouting at Koval to get himself on the ball.
Here's Tommy Stewart, and no flag is thrown. Is he able to skirt past that center back, which is Hendrick? But there's where Tommy Stewart can be very different. He can be a different type of player when you get him out in the runs.
Yeah, and if you ever come out to a game and watch it live, and Tommy Stewart's playing and you're a forward and a young kid learning the game, watch Tommy Stewart. Just follow him around. Oh, great.
John on the rebound. John looking for a shot. Wanted a handball. Won't get it.
Just watch Tommy Stewart and the runs that he makes and track his movement, because I think it's pretty spot on for what you want your striker. Great step there by Mirkovic.
Mirkovic steps in with a steal. Tommy Thompson waits for it, traps it. He'll control it, and here's Koval, and here you go. This is where they start to spread things out and kill that clock a little bit.
Yeah, don't force it. Ball's your friend. But you need people to move right now. Only looks like Mirkovic and Clemente are playing a two-man game. You need 3-4 guys. You need little triangles kind of all over the field, which is what Barcelona does so good, is there's triangles everywhere. In that situation, it was just 2 guys. So,
well, we saw at the MLS All-Star game, Bayern Munich does the same thing where you have constantly guys moving on the opposite sides, and they tend to see the ball pretty soon.
That's Pep Guardiola. That's the coach that coached Barcelona, now coached Bayern. I think that's one of the things that he really, really kind of preaches is movement, get 2 or 3 guys around the ball, keep the ball moving, 1 and 2 touch, opens the field up, and it doesn't give anybody a chance to rest, especially on the defensive end when things are going forward, when you have the ball.
Kevin, where's that balance of it between you to attack and, playing not to lose?
Well, the balance, it's tough right now. If you're given that opportunity to go forward and there's a solid, clear chance, a full chance to go at goal, whether it's a cross or a shot, you got to take it. But if it's a half chance, hold back. Take that time and keep the ball, because the chances of you pulling off a miracle shot or a miracle cross are pretty low. So, play the odds in that situation almost.
Jesse cleared it out. Vukovic now with the header. Crowd liked it, got out to John, but John was able to do nothing with it, and Mirkovic goes down. Crowd wants a caution thrown against Madronda, won't get it.
And the other thing here, what you ideally want, you got a guy like Jesse out on the field with just an unbelievable amount of pace. You just want to find him in the channels as an outlet. When things aren't going well, when you're keeping the ball in the midfield, have Jesse make some runs into the corners and then play him over the top, and hopefully he can hold it down there.
Koval wins the header and a whistle blown.
Tough call
Shoulders into him just a tad. And picking it up is Wyatt. Wyatt, who just checked in as a striker a few moments ago. And now they'll set it back down to Schiffman. He's their set piece guy. Typically out of the corners. Had a pretty nice ball or two into the box as well. The Republic working out far to the right side of the box as Gleason will sit in the middle. This one is high up, and Gleason able to get it.
Yeah, there's a little wind now, too. We talked about that, so that makes that ball a little bit more tricky to deal with, but Gleason does a good job, judges it correctly, uses his frame. Looks like there might have been a grabbing foul in there.
And Gleason getting a warning already again from Joe Dickerson, who's given a warning and given a verbal right here. Gleason says, I haven't even put the ball down yet. Tommy Stewart, good ball here. Here's Tommy Thompson. It'd be fun to see him.
Good little footwork there.
He's got to now not over dribble.
His first, Tommy Thompson's first step is just so quick. I think that's just a huge asset to his game and why it works with his size.
And John just threw the ball down the sideline. They'll throw one in quickly, and he's trying to kill that clock. It's their enemy at this point in time. Tommy Thompson and Tommy Stewart, both in there in substitution. Jesse came in as well. Madronda on their left side. Madronda looking to power up. Clemente steps up. Jesse now on the run. This is where they want it.
Get out of his way now. He's offsides.
And an offside call as Jesse just gave it up a little bit too early. Keep dribbling, young man.
That's John's responsibility to be onside there. Clear out of the way. Let Jesse just run with it. Kick the ball over the top and just run with it.
Miller, cross. Miller, a substitution. Here's John. Tommy Thompson. On to the 89th minute. Tommy Thompson flying down the park. Tommy Stewart on the left side. Tommy Stewart will pause. Stewart works left. Out of play, they'll get a corner.
Great job by Tommy Thompson there. When he's taking that ball out from midfield, he goes at pace and really kind of drives it into the middle of OKC's defense and makes someone make a decision there. Plays a good ball out to Tommy Stewart. Tommy Stewart gets his angle closed off. Tries to cross it in, earns a corner kick. I almost would like to see Tommy Stewart kind of peel off and keep the ball, let everyone get back up, support. But you know what? I love that energy by Tommy Thompson and the pace that he takes that ball, drives it into the.
So 3 minutes are added to a little quick into John, and they'll keep it. Topped it off in his last touch by Tommy Thompson. So here come the energy again, and a few minutes try to tie this thing up. The Republic try to keep it on their side of the field, something they did so well in this first half. We said to keep an eye on a few of these players. Chad Bartlome was one of them. I think he played pretty well tonight. His position, he was really up in the attacking zone. He came up, Adam John with the goal, and here's Jissy. This is where he's so good. Able to recover, picking it up is Tommy Stewart. Stewart double teamed. And now he's just gonna try to stick it in the corner.
Earns a
And
corner
they're gonna
kick
give
there.
a corner to Sacramento. That eats up a little bit more time on the clock, which is good as well. So we said for two things to look at. One of them was Kyle Gregg. Well, he picked up a goal tonight, but Michael Thomas, he's been kept pretty quiet here tonight.
And
Kevin.
we really haven't mentioned his name. He played 1 or 2 good balls, but pretty quiet night overall for him as Republic just going for a little stall tactic here. You know, set pieces in this situation are great for the Republic because you can kill and eat up so much clock on these situations.
And
Jissy
so
again.
Jissy pokes it through finally as they try to see if Energy would come up again. Energy now take it away. And they're going to go over the top with it. That's what we've seen them do time and time again here in the second. A break on the right side. Here's Vion. Cross to the middle. Kovar kicks it away. So Koval did a nice job. JJ, replacement, back on loan with the Republic.
There we go. Tommy Thompson, see him drive this ball again.
And now they're going to kill the clock here. Tommy Thompson on the break. So Vion, the mark against Tommy Stewart. Stewart able to catch him on that left side. Working his way, trying to get to that corner, kill this clock off. And it'll go to a Bader in the goal box as is tapped out of bounds, last touch by Tommy Stewart. And so a goal kick here as Bader tries to get it quickly and gets it low underneath the breeze here. And now Clemente will give it back to Gleason. Gleason with the goal kick himself and just sends it far to the right, and now a pretty good position here for the Energy in the 92nd minute. They have a minute and a half to go here from Bonnie Field, Sacramento. And a set piece, a foul is called, and Madronda will have a pretty good look here as picks it back up, and it will be Castro on the set. This is a dangerous situation here.
Dangerous position once again, and I think, you know, OKC's done a great job of applying the pressure to the Republic here, keeping it in that attacking third for OKC. And, you know, unfortunate there, but they do a good job of drawing the foul. They've had a few of these now. Let's see if they can test Gleason, but Gleason and the Republic need to be solid here.
Here's Schiffman, keeps it low. Cleared. Again! Near post, sent wide.
Yeah, Madronda had a good look on his left foot. You can see Madronda totally favors that left foot. Gets it on the favored foot. Kind of just swipes his kick at it and slices it off the left foot wide for a goal kick for Gleason. And Gleason can't waste any time here because he's on that caution. Doesn't want to pick up a silly second yellow here.
Gleason cleared it out.
Good job, Tommy.
Tommy Thompson. Sacramento can control it here. The whistle will likely blow in a few seconds. And he loses it. So Energy still alive. Working along the touch line. And just way over the top and into raging waters. It was sent into the water slides.
That took a trip down the cliffhanger there. Ball served
Cross in the middle. Daly, header. Vukovic, and there's the whistle. Sacramento with the win here at Bonnie Field. Gets some revenge over the OKC Energy. They win 2-1 and keep their unbeaten streak alive at home to 9 games.
Good effort by OKC in this, you know, the final 20, 30 minutes of this game. But you know what? I think Republic played very, very well for about 65 minutes, 70 minutes. I think if you're going in the locker room and hearing what Preki's going to say, he's not going to be happy how they finished the game by conceding that goal kind of late. But you know what? 3 points is 3 points. Another tough match here at home, and they do a great job of coming out and getting the result that they want.
And you want to be in those top 4 positions. That guarantees you at least one home match in the playoffs. And if you can squeak up there, but Orlando City and Richmond, they got a stronghold on those 1 and 2 spots. But Sacramento, for a first-year club, looking very good. Meanwhile, for OKC now, as they are stuck at 29 points, Wilmington, Charleston, and Pittsburgh all at 26 in the 8th position. So there's no guarantee that the Energy have a shot at the playoffs right now. They've got to continue to try to work their way up. They're right on the fringe. Every game becomes a little bit more important for them, a little more tighter for them. Meanwhile, for Sacramento, you're just trying to play to get better. I think it's a better situation to be in when you're not trying to win to get in, you're trying to win just to get better.
Absolutely. You know, tough loss, I think, if you're Republic. You think you might have had a chance to get at least a point out of this tonight. But phenomenal effort again. Republic do a good job of making sure that they're difficult to play against at home, and they were tonight. But, you know, credit to OKC Energy tonight for coming out and making that final 30 minutes real exciting. Almost trying to sneak one in at the end there, but you know what? 3 points is 3 points, and we're moving on. So great night. Love to see Bartlome as well. I think Bartlome might be my man of the match tonight.
So we have 6 games left here for the Republic, 4 of them at home. So make sure that you log on to Ticketmaster, pick up your tickets because they go very fast. Another sellout recorded here tonight. This game sold out a couple of nights ago. But just looking at this schedule, Kevin, we've got the Orange County Blues on the 17th, and then they're back home here on the 20th against Wilmington. And Wilmington playing very well. They're playing for a playoff spot. So there's another team that's trying to work their way into the final 8. And then Charleston Battery, another good squad. Sacramento then takes on Wilmington and Legion Stadium on the road, and then OKC Energy again in LA Galaxy. So a lot of tough squads coming up for the final 6 matches here. This is not going to be a breeze for the Republic, but it will show very well where they stand at the end of the year, because I think right now they're playing as one of the best teams in the USL Pro.
Yeah, they're definitely playing real well right now, and I think hopefully they can kind of continue moving and get this momentum continuing into these last 4 home games. The one that stands out right now is that LA Galaxy 2, that final game of the season. That could be a could be a big important game in terms of playoff standings, as we're flirting around that 4th, 3rd, 2nd spot. So I'm excited for that. But you know what? They got a tough run of games here coming up. And as long as they continue to be difficult to play against at home, picking up points, picking up 3 points, I think they'll be sitting pretty moving into playoffs. But it's also continuing to get better, which I think we've seen as well.
Adam John tonight, 2 goals. Max Alvarez maybe should have gotten one of those there. But we really wanted to see Braun and John see how they play together. I thought they played pretty well tonight. They were in sync a little bit more. They had a couple of touches to each other. They seem to start to be finally getting on that same page.
Yeah, you know, it looks like they're a little bit better. I still would like to see both of them in the box rather than drifting out into the wide areas, serving balls into the box when they need to be the ones that are in the box, getting their big bodies in there and bumping people around. So
we're going to head down to the field now. Looks like we'll go to Erica Bjork, and she's with Adam John, who is our man of the match tonight with 2 goals. And let's go down to Erica. Erica?
Thanks, Jamie. I'm down here with Adam John. Congratulations, another win on this pitch here. How's it feel to bring another win for USL Pro for our fans?
Feels great. It's always good to win, especially at home.
Coming back from Portland, there's a lot of excitement about MLS and what it means for the club and for the city. What have the players been saying about it?
Well, we're all excited about it, but we have no say in the matter, so we just take care of business on the field.
Now, we know there's a little sibling rivalry in your household. Before the matches, anything your sister, your family does to encourage you to get ready for the match?
No, they kind of just let me do my thing, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Adam, very much. Back to you, Jamie.
So Adam John there, the man of the match here, 2 goals tonight so far. It's been a pretty good season for Adam John on loan with the Earthquakes, and really came on at the start of the year on loan, a player who had some pretty good minutes with the Earthquakes a season ago, burst on the scene as that rookie, but he comes to Sacramento. And so John would end this match 4 goals and now leaves tonight with 6. He's right at the heels of Tommy Stewart and Rodrigo Lopez. When you have 3 guys right there with 6, 7 goals, and then Justin Braun's not too far behind with 4, I think it shows pretty good balance with the Republic. And I think something that teams can't focus on one, guys. And we looked at a couple of these teams, and we knew you had to focus on Greg, and proved it right. He scored a goal tonight for the Energy, but for Sacramento, it's not like you can just pick apart one guy.
Yeah, you know, I think you said it right. You can't focus on one guy with this team. It's spread out so evenly throughout the club with John scoring some goals, Roro scoring some goals, Stewart scoring some goals. So I think you got a lot of weapons out there that are at Preki's disposal, which is great to have. You think when you look at rosters of successful teams, you usually typically have, you know, a solid core group of guys that are leading the way rather than just one or two guys running away with a goal total. So great that Preki has those weapons at his disposal, and you know what? They've been performing really, really well. But I'm going to say it again, I want these guys to continue that with that momentum, continue to get better, go back this week, have a good week of training, and come out next week and get 3 points again.
And Nike's a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. Of course, you can follow all the matches here on the YouTube stream or the Sacramento Republic.com as well. USL Pro page has just about everything you need for stats and stories and more throughout the week. A lot of great information there as these teams continue to move on. I want to thank the Oklahoma City Republic Media Relations Group as well for handling us a lot of information. We do appreciate all the work that they do over there. Of course, our group as well, Erica Bjork and Eddie Ralph, and of course the rest of the team with the Republic, and our broadcast crew, our producer Brian Rote, technical director Chris Cotter, Joe Gangler, and then on the camera crew Ross, Mike, and Nick, and Ira, who helps us out back here, and Franklin Pictures, always appreciated of what they do. The Previtt boys there, and really just a great match here, a great win for Sacramento. Moving forward here, Kevin, now they're going to go on the road, head down south a little bit, and they've got another test ahead of them here as they take on Orange County Blues on the 17th. What do you want to see from them on the road?
You know, on the road, I think I said it earlier, you go out this week, have a solid week of training. You came out tonight, did the job, did what was needed to be done to get those 3 points, but you got to go out. Can't rest and think that you're in a good situation. You can't be stagnant. You got to go out and continue to try to get better. And I think that's what Preki does very, very well. He gets these guys, gets them motivated, and make sure that they're working hard and working correctly in training sessions. So that's what I want to see. And I think if they go out there and play the same sort of style of soccer that we've been seeing them play, I think they'll do fine and get a result.
So the Oklahoma City, they'll be back here on September 4th, the fourth and final match between these two teams this season. OKC wins the first two. Can Sacramento win the final two? Well, you have to wait and find out for that. So for my broadcasting partner, Kevin Goldthwait, I'm Rob McAllister. Have a great night. We appreciate you tuning in tonight. It's a 2-1 victory for Sacramento, and we'll see you back on the broadcast on August 20th. Until then, enjoy a couple of these summer months as it's almost coming to an end. And sure enough, fall and the playoffs will be here soon tonight. Good night, everybody.